Nobody's saying anything particularly heinous.
Not yet.
Currently. Nobody's saying anything particularly heinous at this moment. Okay, this is good.
Just when we weren't live earlier, everything we said was a joke.
Correct.
Ironic, in case we said anything.
I'm pretty sure we're only live for like a couple seconds.
How long were we live?
How long were we live? Tap. Pop out chat. That's good. Didn't know this was an option. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I guess. Whatever, you know.
I'd like to apologize to our audience, Random Internet Guy, Mirror Reads, and everybody else we were making fun of when we got caught live earlier.
Nick says if Zach and Tom aren't back in 15 minutes, this legally becomes a mirror channel. It's like when you go to class and the teacher isn't there within 15 minutes. It becomes mine. Hello, everybody. We have Viper. We have Nick. We have Taco. Hello, Taco. We have Steve. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Okay, we do need this open. It does need to be down at the bottom. There we go. And we need this. Yes. Okay. Zach, is this a stupid plan?
Yes, it is.
Are you sure?
I also thought we had more time for the water to dry that I spilled on my shirt, so that's just going to be on for the whole stream.
I didn't realize that this shirt was so low cut. Like, it's kind of, you know...
You can tell it's 91 degrees
in here. It is. It's 91 degrees in this kitchen. Taco says, why are we here? I have no idea why you're here.
That's a good question. I don't know why you're
here. Could not tell you why anybody's
I actually couldn't tell you why we're here either.
Considering we scheduled this stream, 19, 20 minutes ago? Okay, we do need desktop audio to come through, which I think it does. Zach, we're doing something special today. We're doing something special and particularly interesting. And we're gonna freaking see how it works. We have a couple of things. We're gonna be talking about House of the Dragon today. We just wanted to talk about House of the Dragon.
Yeah, we did videos before, but they didn't. They had a smaller audience, but if we do live streams, like people can just be here for a live, and it's a lot more fun and lively.
Yeah, you can just come and hang out and chill, and it'll be flipping great.
I still have my tea.
And we wanted to do. I had a different idea, so I'm going to show you the first.
I don't know what this idea is. I sort of know what this idea is.
I'm going to show you the first of our two ideas, while Zach is getting set up with the second. While I'm getting set up with the second idea. Steve says we're here for Tom's cleavage, obviously. Excuse, they did not say they're here for your cleavage.
I know, I'm getting sensitive. And
no. Can someone give me a sense of how the audio is doing, just to make sure that it's not blowing everyone's ears out when I laugh, because I do have a tendency to do that. I'm gonna tilt us like this a little bit. There we go. You can see Zach a little bit better now. Zelazar says seems fine. Also, hello Zelazar. Welcome to the show. I need to go in here. I need to grab this one. This needs to be this size so that we can just pop it out and have it hanging out. And if I go over here, it should just show up. Look, it's the wheel. It's the wheel of House of the Dragon stuff. Is this visible? I don't know. Does it matter?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Look, we're talking about House of the Dragon today.
This is like the Monsters Inc. joke.
Is that the end of the sentence?
Yeah, this is like the one joke in Monsters Inc. where Mike Wazowski's face is constantly blocked by different things on screen.
Yes, whenever it's on screen, Zach's face will be slightly improved.
Ouch.
I'd like to take that back, please. I didn't like it.
I bailed on you before we were supposed to watch last episode, so I think we're now even.
I didn't like it at all. God, it was a little funny, though. Okay. All right.
Nobody can see my Charlotte Bobcat shirt because chat's in the way.
So
this is not important. I just wanted to point that out.
Zach, I'm clicking this. It's spinning. Look, it's spinning.
Ooh,
is that audible? I don't know. It might be. Zach, you have gotten Cregan Stark. You've gotten Cregan.
So we're starting at the beginning of the episode. Excellent.
Yes.
I suggest we now retire the wheel as a bit and just continue talking about the episode.
But the bit's fun. I've removed it from the list, and I'm also getting rid of the wheel. Please. Control Shift C. There we go. Okay, and there you go. Zach, talk about Cregan Stark.
We see Cregan
Chat,
Stark
also talk about Cregan Stark.
for the first time in this episode.
I'm on the cover of a magazine. Oh God, help! Please. Oh God. Okay. All right, Zach. You just do the thing.
So Cregan Stark.
Yeah.
We see him for the first time. We go to the north. We go to Winterfell and the Wall. And the only part of the show that has pacing issues anymore.
It's
they fixed it except for that.
They fixed everything but the northern plot.
Yes, they had to get through that one very fast. I was hoping to see him there a little bit longer, but the scene we did get was pretty good. I was happy with it. And so the conversation they have at the Wall is really nice, and seeing them pick people to go because winter is coming to the Wall. Are we getting?
No, we're not.
Okay.
No, we're good. We're good. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm not listening to you at all.
You're not listening to me at all.
Correct.
Okay, I hope Chad is. So I think that that was pretty well handled. I would have liked to see them have more character interactions. Because there's the Sarah Snow rumor, and then there's also the belief, which I read, it was my reading of the books, that Cregan and Jace were romantically involved. And while you could read a little bit of flirtation to their dialogue, it's not enough for us to really get that. And I wouldn't have mind if they rushed it a little bit, because they're younger characters, and it's like a highly politically tense time. If things got like really flirty really fast, I would have been fine with that, but I guess they're not going to go down that route, or if they are, we haven't seen it yet. But it doesn't feel like they have a lot of time to set it up if he's already back on Dragonstone, which spoilers when we talk about Jace, he is.
But by the way, is this a spoiler stream?
Yes.
I say this is a spoiler for published stuff stream. I say we don't. If we can talk around stuff that's going to happen, we do.
Okay, well, what I'll say is, if they don't deviate from the plot too much, I don't know how much more of the North we'll see this season. So that might be, I don't know how much more Cregan we're getting. But that I was happy with the one scene we did get of him.
I agree. Oh, it's working.
Okay.
It's working.
Well, now you got to put the call-in number.
I do. Hang on. I first need to answer it. Oh God, where is it? Nobody panic. Nah, where is it?
Go scroll down. It's probably right down below.
It's not. Where is it?
Absolutely. It's right there. It's literally right there. You have to allow it to use your microphone too.
Call from.
There you go.
Call from. I don't think that we can make that work.
I think we can.
I don't know if we can make that work.
We can certainly try.
It'll
be really funny.
I don't know if we can make it work because I think it's going to announce the full name. No, it's going to announce the name of whoever's calling,
or their number.
Whatever they say. It's going to say whatever they say when they call in. Hi guys, this is a call-in show. We decided to make this a call-in show because I thought it would be funny.
Tom couldn't pick between two gimmicks he threw together in 10 minutes. So both of them.
Zach, I appreciate your thoughts on horny character, on horny character Cregan Stark. Window capture. Zach, I'm spinning the thing. Look, it's spinning. Look, it's spinning. You got Aegon the Second. You got Aegon the Second. Nice job. You got Aegon the Second. Talk about Aegon the Second.
This is definitely the most effective way to talk
about Aegon the Second.
Aegon the Second is in. So my favorite scene probably so far is when Blood and Cheese are walking through the throne room and we get Aegon drinking with his buddies. I thought that was it was one of the best written scenes of the show. He's dying as I'm explaining it.
Aegon and his frat bros. I loved Aegon and his frat bros.
Well, it's
Aegon the Dragon Cock.
I was comparing it to some of the better shows of like early, to better scenes of early Game of Thrones, where we're getting We're getting lore about the world. We're learning about important characters. The scene is also good because there's tension. You don't know if there's gonna be trouble when they sneak past, if something's gonna be like noticed, if they're gonna be questioned. So it's interesting on its own. You're learning about a character who we see a lot more of later. You're learning lore, and it's also funny on the level of like they're cracking jokes in the background. It's also tense because there's two characters trying desperately hard not to get caught, and they know they can give you that level of thing as an audience, and that you're able to engage in it. And that was one of my complaints with the first season was a lot of scenes are just one thing happening, and then the pacing was pretty like all over the place, so it was a little hard to chew on sometimes, and it felt like they could have used like multiple things in one scene to set up multiple things to the audience at once, and they were afraid to do that because they saw the people who watched the last two seasons of Game of Thrones and said, some people liked that episode of Dany running the city.
This is a good way of knowing who you want to be friends with.
Yeah.
Nick says you've been struck by Aegon the Dragoncock. And I'm just not sure that the joke format is doing it for you?
It's not much of a smooth criminal, no.
Hey! It's quite bumpy.
A very bumpy criminal.
Aegon was my favorite part of this episode. Absolutely. Did you talk about him governing?
No, we didn't talk about.
Talk about him governing while I'm doing this dumb thing I'm doing.
He brings his child to the small council meeting.
It was so good. It was so good. The shitty child giving hell to Tyland Lannister.
So
it was great.
Multiple people. Do you think the horse joke was intentional?
Oh my god. Oh no. We can't do this.
It is.
We can't do this. We cannot accept that Aegon, that the showrunners of House of the Dragon are sneaking in Glidus in jokes with the Lannister family tree.
Why not?
I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it could be. How could that possibly be the case?
They've made dumber jokes before.
They did make that whole Lemongate thing last year.
What was that again? How'd they reference that?
Larys was talking about things flowering and growing in places that they might not be able to while standing in front of a painting of a lemon tree.
Yeah,
It's pretty on the nose.
It'd be awkward if that wasn't intentional.
Pony ride, says my... There's 20 people in here. What are you guys doing here?
Well,
Any other thoughts on Aegon the Second, Zach? Any other thoughts on Aegon the Second?
Plenty, but they intersect with other characters, which makes it sort of awkward because I know we're going to talk about those characters when we spin them on the wheel.
I mean, you can just talk about them.
I could. I guess I could.
It's kind of whatever.
It's I'm struggling to understand the game format, I guess, but
the game format is we're having a good time, so it's fine.
Okay. So everything's made up and the points don't matter. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, good.
How many points does Zach get for that? Tell me in the chat. In the meantime, Zach, I'm going to spin the wheel again.
I think the only other thing I have to say about Aegon is that they set him up very well to start going all war crimesy and start purging his own small council. They're setting up the he is getting played by Criston Cole to be more aggressive pretty well. So I can't wait for that to be one of the main arcs of this season.
I've lost my mouse. I don't know where it is.
It's a very tragic thing to lose.
There it is. Okay, I did it. Zach, I want you to talk about Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra.
She's in the show?
She is. She's in the show.
Yeah.
Nice job. All right. Zach, I want you to talk about... Control Enter? Yes. Zach, I want you to talk about... Earache Cargyll.
Which one's Earache and which one's Eric?
No one knows.
Good old Earache.
No one knows. You're going to have to figure it out. Zach, tell us about the Cargylls.
So there's the two Cargylls. We see the one have a really good conversation with Damon, which I thought was one of the best scripted parts of the show, where he gives unsolicited advice, and Damon complains that at one point he wasn't loyal. He says, "No, I was always as loyal as I could be under the circumstances. I couldn't have, like, done anything about the coup attempt sort of ordeal. And Damon does not like receiving unsolicited advice, and he's even more upset that it's absolutely correct. That really pissed Damon off. That somebody else besides him was right about something. Which is great, because that'll be a problem for him, presumably through the rest of the show also.
Okay, wait. Okay, we'll do one more. Hang on. We go back over here. We go to here. We go to click. All right, Zach, tell us about... Oh, Bela!
Bela's in the show.
Correct. All right, roll again. Zach, tell us about... Otto Hightower. That's a good one. That's a good one. Tell us about Otto Hightower.
We see Otto doing things that will like make it so they have a much stronger advantage in a long-term conflict, and to buy some legitimacy in the eyes of the different people. We know that there's already some other people who are fully on Rhaenyra's side, so them trying to slowly win a lot of people over to support them, or at least nominally support them while they sit it out, is good, because they have King's Landing. They have a lot of things they can defend. His strategy is pretty, like, politically smart, even if it's militarily not super ambitious. He knows that Rhaenyra is not going to sue for peace, and that Alicent's largely wasting her time with that. But it's pretty good to see that like conflict. That scene between Alicent and Otto, I thought, was pretty well written and executed, and they're setting up very much that Aemond and Criston and Cole are going to be the ones pressuring him out of power so they can pursue a more aggressive military campaign that's going to lose them a ton of support and a ton of allies. So I'm excited to see that arc develop, because I feel like the internal green politics has potential to be really well done, because they have a lot of really good actors and they're clearly okay at writing all of their dialogue. And I love the like internal politics stuff of A Song of Ice and Fire. I always thought was very satisfying to watch, and it always helped make sure when you got the payoff of like a dragon fight or a military battle, you understood everything that went into it, which was nice. That's what I love about both Blackwater and Watchers on the Wall and the formerly Good Dragon show, as it was at that point.
Yeah, that was at one point a Good Dragon show. No one can dispute this.
You understood the context of those battles for both sides, both factions. You understood what was at stake for everybody there. You understood the ramifications for even unrelated parties if either side were to win or lose. And then you shoot a really good fight scene that is like an hour long, and I can care through the whole thing about every last like sword fight I see, and it never gets exhausting. And so far, I think we're like 5 good small council meetings away from earning like 2 or 3 solid battle episodes that can be paid off of them. But we'll see. I don't know how they plan to balance that out. I would like the next time we get a dragon fight for it to be a full battle,
like a real dragon fight.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't think that this is too much of a spoiler. I think it's pretty safe to say there will be dragon fights this season.
It would be shocking if there weren't.
Yes, I would be surprised. It would be a departure from the source material if there were not
it would also,
dragon fights.
It would also be weird if they rushed through season 1 to get through season 2 for there to be no dragon fights.
Yeah, correct. Zach, I have wonderful, terrible news.
What's the wonderful?
I'm going to need you. Okay, would you like to do the testing, or would you like me to do the testing?
I can do the testing.
You want to do the testing? All right, I'm going to pull this up so you can see it on screen.
Wonder if I'm going to dox myself.
Maybe.
Nobody call my personal number.
Very possible. You absolutely could. What is the number? It is this. Hang on, right there. And you go to a different room, and you're going to call it, okay? We're going to try to get your voice coming through.
Bye, everybody.
Zach's leaving, so it's just us. Give me like a minute. Hello, caller. You're on WNRD, the nerdiest call-in show that does exist.
I thought this was WRIG, the best Song of Ice and Fire show on the West Coast.
Is it coming through?
What?
Nerds chat, is it coming through? I think it's coming through. Zach, stay there.
I can stay here. I'm only in the other room.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. Hang on, I'm pulling back up pulling up the thing. It's right here. Thank you for calling in. I would love your thoughts on Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. We never did. One of the ideas we said we were gonna do for a video is talk about our pitch for the HBO Jon Snow show, and we just had multiple pitches, and they get more and more ridiculous. Did you ever actually write any of them?
Oh, Zach, I'm sorry. I'm doing audio things. I'm not actually listening. You still need to riff.
I had a question for you. Okay. So, my pitch for a Jon Snow show is he's defeated the others, and they're gone. And, he goes back to, rebuild the wall. And it's just a office management thing Jon Snow is doing, but everybody's fantasy guard. So he's overseeing construction of the wall. And will you even need to build a wall? Your sister wiped out all the others by stabbing one guy in a really convoluted kung fu move thing. And he's well, the watch is supposed to take care of the wall, right? And he's just this depressed middle manager the whole show. That is my pitch, HBO. My rate is $8,000 an hour. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for calling in, caller. That was a troll call. I don't know who that was or how they managed to get control.
My name is Random Internet Guy. So blame it on, if you ever meet somebody named Random Internet Guy, blame that guy.
Well, I'm sorry, we've had to let him go. But thank you very much for calling in. If you want to call in at home, you can do so at the number below. Let's go, dude. I can't believe that worked. At the number below, which will be Duke says, why are we not doing this on Discord?
Tom felt like doing a call
because
show.
I thought this would be funny. I mean, that really was the whole pitch. Is I thought it would be funny to do an actual call.
Did it read off my phone number? Steve Joyce's stocks.
Did it read off your phone? I don't think it did. It didn't read off to me.
Okay, good. Hopefully. I mean, you know what? We'll learn because somebody should be frantically calling me if my number is read on screen.
Yeah. I also noticed that it automatically pushes it to my phone, so I saw your number come up on my phone.
That's pretty good.
Oh man. So hang on, we gotta go over here. I gotta make sure that all my stuff is in order. I'm actually gonna do one of these so that this is on its own tab. Can I edit this live? Surprise House the Dragon call in show. I don't know. Zach, is this funny?
I don't know.
Neither do I. I'm having a good time though. Okay. All right. The next individual that we are talking about is, give me this. Sunfyre, Aegon's dragon, Sunfyre.
I don't think
Zach
Sunfyre does anything this episode.
Hasn't done a single thing, but you still do need to talk about Sunfyre.
Sunfyre is a dragon.
Oh no, I clicked it. Never mind. We're spinning again. Never mind. We spun again. We got Aemond Targaryen. Aemond Targaryen.
So, he's planning an ambitious military campaign, and it's clear that he wants to.
And Zach, are you ready?
Yes.
If you at home want to talk about Aemond Targaryen, you can do so at the number below. You can do it right there.
Go ahead and call the number. You don't even need to talk about Aemond. You can talk about anything related to the episode you want.
I can't stop you.
It will probably keep us more on track. You can't keep spinning
again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
There you go. You can call in and talk about and give your thoughts on Aemond Targaryen. Aemond Targaryen. Gotta make sure this is centered. There it is. And we're just gonna leave that up. We're gonna talk about, and I can actually join the conversation now because I finished that stupid nonsense.
What would be funnier if we got 0 call-ins or if we got 400 call-ins from 4 people?
Man, getting 0 call-ins would be way... Oh my god. Oh, like repeated call-ins from the same person, but pretending to be different people.
Yeah.
like a really not good SNL bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, let's talk about Aemond. Aemond's whole character arc this last season was in concert with Luke, right? Luke cut out his eye, and then Aemond ate him. Yes. And there was a possibility of a diplomatic solution out of this conflict until my kid ate your kid.
Yeah.
Right? When my kid eats your kid, there stops being a possibility of reasonable conclusion.
The conflict of which there's no easy way for both of them to walk out of it with a political victory. Somebody's taking an L on this. That's able to be negotiated before there's bloodshed. The second there's bloodshed, no, absolutely not. It's going to end with more because bigger army diplomacy or bigger dragon diplomacy will start come knocking is the most likely outcome.
Absolutely correct. Something that I want to talk about, a specific good scene in this show, in this episode. I want to talk about Aemond and Criston. Address my new headcanon that Daeron will appear as Crispin's bastard son this season. We haven't seen him yet because he's Dornish. I like that. That's a good pitch. That Daeron was sleeping with Alicent even before Viserys died, and that Daeron is his kid, and that's why they don't let him spend time around the rest of the. And that would make makes the interactions with Rhaenyra even more hypocritical at that time.
That's true.
However, I'm in a country where my phone doesn't work. This is tragic. I'm sorry, Viper.
It is very tragic.
Hey, if we get no calls, we get no calls. That's fine. It's just a regular stream.
No, what was I gonna say was that's an interesting headcanon. He wouldn't be able to ride a dragon then, right? If you need Valyrian ancestry to ride a dragon. Alicent doesn't have that. And Criston Cole doesn't either.
To be honest, I don't know that I've always really
I don't know if I
fully subscribed to that.
Nor
Seems
do
like
I,
the kind of thing that Targaryens say confidently.
I don't know if I believe that fully either, but what it would mean is that we would get an on-screen confirmation of that. Which is weird because we might not be getting Nettles, so
we might not be getting Nettles.
Which if you're going to have that conversation of do you need Valyrian blood to ride a dragon, then it feels like you would want to keep the character who caused that question to be asked in the book that you're adapting. If you're gonna skip that question, I get skipping her as a character. There's a lot of other reasons to include her, but there are ways you can make it work, sort of. But if that's going to be one of the central questions, is are dragons and people with Valyrian ancestry intrinsically bonded? What a character to cut!
Yeah, it's the wrong character. It's the wrong character to remove.
Yeah, it's like when Cersei gets the Golden Company at the end of the Bad Dragon show. It's like, hey, wait a second here.
I'm turning so that it's like a talk show.
Wait! They should do the same thing.
Wait a second. Yeah, it's like a talk show.
Wait a second here. Why, if you're gonna have the Golden Company be a part of the ending of the show, why did you cut Griff and young Griff?
Yeah, why did you cut all the people who have a connection to the Golden Company?
Why did you kill off Varys in a way that had nothing to do with it?
We don't gotta talk about that. Also, the chat is no longer in my line of sight.
Yeah.
It's now in your line of sight, so you have to be chat person now.
So those are a couple 100 times to do a different accent each time.
Yeah. I like this. I like this bit. This is just a fun bit. I can't believe that we got this set up in that little amount of time. That was really fun.
Wait, you have a voicemail.
Oh, look at that.
Is that somebody who tried calling in?
No, this is welcome to Google Voice.
Okay.
Perfect. Can I just delete this?
Maybe.
What can I say except... hang on. I see someone talking about Laenor still being alive, which means we have to address it immediately. Because Laenor is still alive, Rhaenyra's and Damon's kids are bastards. Thoughts? Absolutely.
Yeah, they're
100%.
bastards.
Yep, I agree.
Which means that every bit of stuff we get in this universe has to go with that knowledge intact. I don't want to spoil the lineages we're talking about here, but it's pretty profound.
Yeah, correct. Yes, fun fact, it is. Zach, are we doing you want to just pivot into the Yu-Gi-Oh video instead?
Why would we do that?
We can just do it right now.
No.
We can just do it right now on stream while the call-in show's active.
We're doing that tomorrow after we record with Redacted.
After we record with Redacted, we are recording Redacted.
Yes.
For 7 hours.
And then I'm going to force you to do the Airbud video.
Yeah. All right, Zach. I'm covering up your face because we're doing another wheel spin. Tyland Lannister. Tyland Lannister. That's Tyland. We got. Oh no, it's the wrong thing.
That's the right thing.
Okay. Let's talk about Tyland Lannister. He didn't do much this episode, but the things he did do were hilarious.
He almost gave a child a horse ride.
Piggyback ride?
Yes.
Yep, piggyback ride. Correct.
He's one of the more voice of reason characters in the small council, although it seems like he's easily sort of leaning towards whatever the popular opinion is. I don't know if he has a true vision for how this war should go. That's going to be interesting is if we see the council dynamic emerge. I feel like they're setting it up. This is me being a little optimistic, but I feel like they're setting it up to be one of the crucial elements of this season. I think the arc of this season will be watching the council increasingly push voices that are going for a less aggressive stance to the war, bring in people who are angry and maybe not so especially competent, and make crucial Iraq war level mistakes that will make the conflict not only longer but more drawn out and painful for everybody, including the people who ostensibly are trying to win the conflict.
I could not agree more, and I cannot expound upon this without spoiling future things that are going to happen. But I love this take. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that little kid playing with Tyland Lannister's little council ball was the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
It was great.
It was the funny... Can we talk about how Game of Thrones is funny again? Game of Thrones is funny again, Zach.
I didn't watch the last 5 minutes, but I can't wait to see that kid in future episodes.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great character. I had to pause it right at the end. But man, that kid, so cute.
Yeah.
So cute, so sweet. He's going to be fantastic. Zach, I'm spinning the wheel again. Bonk, bonk, spin. We're spinning the wheel. It's right in front of your face again.
It is. Hugh Hammer.
Hugh Hammer time. Yeah.
We get our first little bit of Hugh Hammer. And
Yeah.
It's really weird that they got the same actor to play a guy named Hugh to look directly in the camera and say that his name is Hugh.
Michael says, dude, this episode was so funny. Aegon is hilarious this season. That is correct.
That is correct.
Unfortunately, we already talked about Aegon the second, so he's banned from conversation
not how that
from
works.
now on. He's not on the wheel anymore, Zach. We can't talk about it.
That's not... The wheel was there to drive us in different directions.
We can't talk about him. But if you want to talk about him,
you can call in.
You can call in at the number on the screen now.
Michael, you can call in. It'll just be like a regular episode with you as a guest, but with the gimmick of it's a call-in.
Yeah. It'll just be you calling it. It'll just be you on the show, except it'll you'll be on your phone instead. Is this fun? Is this fun? Who is this? I don't know who this is for, but I like it. Oh my god. I have so wanted to see a frat party on the Iron Throne. I didn't even know about it. Jackie's here, Viper's here. I'm having so much fun.
I was talking about that scene earlier. It is one of my favorites of the show so far. It might be my favorite scene of the show.
Yeah. It's just really funny. Zach, where does this go? I don't know where this goes. Does it go right there?
Tom, you came up with all of these bits.
I know, but I'm asking you. Does it go up here? That's kind of funny.
That is very.
That's pretty funny.
You
know,
know, you gotta put chat in front of my face.
We'll test it out. No, we'll test it. We already have something in front of your face. All right, we'll
Sorry.
test it out when we do the next person. Oh, no! Oh, God! Oh, no! We've accidentally got an Amazon ad. Oh, God, please,
I
no!
want you to watch
I
the movie. I
can't
want you
get
to watch
off.
the movie Terror.
I can't get it off. Oh, my God, did I dox myself? My address is on the
No,
screen.
your address is not on the
Ah!
screen. It's not on the screen. Who could have foreseen the setup that we put together in 15 minutes? Had some structural flaws.
Yeah! Yeah! Oh my God, I love this stupid thing we do. Oh my God, this stream's sponsored by the movie Tarot. Holy shit, that was funny. Oh my God, remember to update your ad blockers, everybody. Oh boy.
Tom, do you want some tea?
Oh my God, no, but I'll take some of that baller iced tea you got though.
Oh yeah.
There we go. I'm clicking. We spinning, Zach. We'll test it out for one. We spinning, Zach. You got Larys Strong. You got Larys Strong. Talk to me about Larys Strong. Oh my God, it's so stupid. I'm moving. Oh man. All right. Maybe we just do one of these. Thank you.
Not a problem.
You're the best.
No,
yeah, that's it. There it is. We'll hide it in the corner.
Larry Strong, the clubfoot. So he apparently purges the household staff of the Red Keep, which I think is interesting because there's a lot of historical parallels there. This is something that happened in autocracies where there'd be paranoia about people on staff, so there'd be political tests, there'd be like ways to like put them on trial basically without a real trial. Zach, talk about Tarot. I've never watched Tarot.
Don't get distracted. Keep talking because I can't breathe. So you have to talk right now.
So Larry's the clubfoot.
You were talking before we went live about there being like real political scheming.
Yeah.
This episode, and Larry's was doing some political scheming.
Yes.
Oh my God, Game of Thrones is political again.
Yes.
It's so good. There's there's actual politics in the show again.
Yes.
To quote to paraphrase Viserys Targaryen, I did come here for all this fucking politicking. Yes.
No, I thought it was the scenes we got with him were pretty good, and I thought I can see where they're going with his character, and he's gonna get probably punished for this more than Cole will be. I think they seem like they have a blind spot for Criston Cole, where they're just like, oh yeah, he just like sucks at his job and we keep him around.
Yeah, he's just bad at his job, but he's also hot, so I guess he stays.
But it's like, oh, I thought you purged every member of the guard here. How'd they get in? And it's like, okay, he's gonna say, okay, you had a member of the King's Guard here who was not doing their duties.
Yeah.
We're gonna see some of the first internal tussle that way, and I feel like he is going to start taking liberties to do his own sort of like work without like, okay, if the king's gonna pick the guard who I have evidence is boinking his mom instead of me, the person who actually put in a lot of effort to try and make the place safer, I'm just gonna start ignoring the small council and doing what I think is politically prudent, and they can deal with the consequences later.
I made the joke yesterday that Criston Cole walked into that little meeting with Aemond whistling, doing your mom. Oh man!
Okay, new theory. Daron is the son of Criston Cole and Alicent.
Fantastic.
And he's played by Ray William Johnson.
No!
And they just like put him in super young age makeup.
Yeah. It's just like they use forced perspective to make him really short.
He's the animated version of himself from the Your Favorite Martian like music videos.
All right.
And nobody mentions he's a cartoon. He's the only character who is a cartoon.
Oh.
It's like Candace Tully from the first show.
Candace? Who's Candace? Zach, I don't know who Candace is. That's that person from Phineas and Ferb, right? Who's Candace? Zach, who's Candace? Zach, I don't know who. Zach, who's Candace? I don't know who Candace is. Zach, who's Candace?
Can't even land.
Zach, I'm panicking. Who's Candace? Oh my God, who's Candace?
Can't. I can't. We're not doing the bit. We're not doing the bit.
My life is. You either can dis dick fit in your mouth or you can't dis dick fit in your mouth. Zach, I'm glad we do this. This is fun. And if you want to be a part of this fun, you can call in the number below. I also think I got the donations.
Irish Jenny, no, we're in a population center in New York that is not the one on the Hudson River where there may or may not be a red, white, and blue football team.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Philly for a while, to be determined how long I won't be. Oh, my key.
Bye. I'm gonna read some. Duke says Ligma. Nice. We got a couple of good comments. Michael says accidentally showing the wrong window is a lot like tarot cards. Oh, Zach,
We have a caller.
we have a caller. We have a caller, and this caller is going to be talking about. Hang on.
We'll answer first. Yeah.
Yep. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Who are we talking to?
Shit. Zelazar.
Hi, shit. Thank you very much for calling in. We are about to spin the wheel. We are spinning, and we would like to hear your takes on Cargyll. Eric Cargyll.
Reinvented. With an A?
Eric with an A, yes.
That guy, bro. We're against. Both kids are against.
Hang on. All right, this is our first live caller, everybody. Nobody panic. I'm
Wait, hold
pretending that I don't know whose voice it is.
I'm against Eric Cargill.
Say again.
Eric Cargyll with an A, yes. You can also talk about anything.
Yeah, you can also talk about whatever you want. It's fantastic. We're like, I think we're building to a conflict with the Cargylls that I'm really excited about. I think it's gonna be a truly fantastic like comparison between these two characters to see the like connections that they have made coming to a head later in the show. Furthermore,
Cargyle Bowl.
caller, how do you feel about the take Cargill Bowl?
You know, all the people who are like, the game bowl's not going to happen in the books. And they, oh no!
Oh no!
Thank you, caller. We lost you.
Goodbye, Salazar! Goodbye! What a disaster! Salazar, I really appreciate you being the first person, and I appreciate you going presumably out of service area. Was Salazar like at a gas station? Was that what they said?
Zelazar said they were cooking dinner in the middle.
Oh, nice. Zelazar, really appreciate it. If you want to call back in, please. Oh, we're getting Zelazar back. Here we go. I assume this is Zelazar.
It'd be really funny if it wasn't.
Zelazar, did we get you back?
I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Neither do I. Zelazar, we're gonna spin the wheel again. Zelazar, tell us about. Tell us about. We've reached the exciting part of the show. Please tell us about cheese.
What?
This is very dramatic.
It is very dramatic.
Once again, we spun the wheel. Tell us your take on cheese.
We're talking about the part of the episode that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
The end credits.
I see. So I haven't read the books. I knew something. I knew there was something called Blood and Cheese, and that somebody was probably going to die. I had no idea what that meant, like who was going to die, how they were going to die. I had no idea that blood and cheese were people.
And I thought that scene was really impactful, and I thought it was done from a filmmaking perspective really, really well.
I agree.
And everybody on Twitter except Mira disagrees with me.
Well, I'm really glad I'm really glad to hear the take of someone who didn't read the books and didn't know exactly what they were walking into. Because the first time that I don't know about you, Zach, the first time that I watched it, I was like a hair underwhelmed because there was so little circumstance, so little pomp, where it just happened. It just happened.
Have you? This is a strange question. Have you been a victim of crime before?
Have I been a victim of crime?
Sure.
No, I was convicted of a crime in January.
That's different question. Different set of emotions go into that. Well, Zach, continue.
Like I've had people try and like I was there when somebody was trying to like break into my house, and it's very like all of a sudden, and the person is also very nervous who's doing it when they realize they're in the process of getting caught. So I thought it was like actually incredibly well handled. I think people think it's kind of goofy because like you're talking too much, but you have to realize that a person who's like committing a crime that serious and egregious like is freaking out. So that to me felt very real. That like they get paid to do this, and then they're like nervous and making bad
and they have to do it.
Yeah,
right. And it becomes a disaster so fast.
Yeah, you've committed to the idea that you're there to kill somebody, and that you're going to bring back, you're going to kill a son, and then you get spotted. You are in the room with a son, and you just make the decision very hastily to kill somebody and get out so you can get the money, and so that if there's consequences, you at least did the thing. That to me tracked pretty well.
I think I for sure came around to that. I watched it again last night. And the fact that it, like, I watched it again with that thought, with that feeling in mind that it is just shot in the way that it would just happen.
Yeah.
And Zelzor, I want to hear your thoughts on this. That like watching it the second time when it just happens is scarier than if it happened in a horror movie where there's strings and you know shots and screaming. It just occurred, and that made it even more terrifying for me.
Some of my favorite bits in the book are like when things are going wrong. Like I feel like people are on Twitter were all like, it's not going according to plan. They like didn't like. Why are they so dumb? What is going on? Like the books aren't like. That's imagining a world in which the books aren't literally all about plans going wrong. Like there's not a single plan in the book that goes correctly, and like everybody is messing up the entire time and having to like fly by the seat of their pants. And that's like where the best like drama in the books comes from. And I don't know why people are mad about that.
What a good take that nothing and no plan anywhere in the entire series goes off without becoming a disaster halfway through.
And like if you when you're in a moment of like political violence like that, like what was it? I don't like how the Bad Dragon Show did Jon's assassination because everybody's very orderly and they like just slowly stab him, and like it was clearly like everybody there was in on it and there was no risk of it going wrong. In the books, it's super frantic. They're like, we have a window to kill him now, and we have to take it, and we have to immediately go and just start stabbing him and hope we get it done before like we get stopped. Yeah, that makes him so much more tense because everybody involved, the person who's being murdered doesn't know they're being murdered, so it's tense for them. The people doing the murdering know they have a very fine line to walk. That makes it really cool, and I agree. The fact that it's
also we haven't even
makes it tense for a ton of different reasons.
Also, we haven't even gotten to the part of Jon's assassination where he more than likely comes back to life, which I think was not in their plan and probably will end up not turning out so good. for.
I have another, and just to finish up on this topic, I think that I think about the Red Wedding, which is probably the best planned thing to happen in the show.
Yeah.
To happen in the books rather, and like the Great John knocks out the teeth of like 8 people. There are very obvious signs that things are going wrong. A bunch of people escape.
Yeah.
Everything, like, it's a disaster when you get in there. Zelzor, I think we're gonna let you go, but I really appreciate you calling in and giving us these takes. I think these are fantastic takes.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Mhm.
Can I give one final take?
Yes, please.
Which is that this episode had evidence of the Lannisters being centaurs, and so it's an A+ for me. Bye.
Zach, this is a fun program. This is an excellent program, and we should do this every week.
Thanks for the show running,
Yeah. Would people watch this? Would people watch this?
People are
stupid
currently
shit?
watching this.
My God, this is so much fun. Oh my God. Thank you very much to Zelazor for calling in. If you want to call in and give us some more takes, you can. Let's keep talking about Blood and Cheese.
I think this is the crux of what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, this is the thing that happened in the show.
It was all prelude to us ranting about this for the next 45 minutes.
Like, there's other stuff I want to talk, and when we spin them, I want to talk about Rhaenyra, right? I want to talk about Damon. I want to talk about Rhaenys. But Blood and Cheese is the thing that happened.
I liked the casting for the two of them. I feel like the characterization is a tiny bit like rushed for them.
But I want to talk about this. I have a take on this. Go ahead.
But it was good. It was like one of them has a beef with the family, and we get that, and the other one has gambling debts and will do anything for the money because he's not a particularly great moral person. And he's desensitized to death, right? His entire job is killing small animals.
I'm actually ready for that. I'm actually going to turn this off while we're talking. And the next time we spin, we'll get another caller.
Okay.
All right. Keep going.
So the thing that I think I really adore is the scene where they're sold on it by Damon, where he like pitches it to them.
So good.
Is very good, and the entirety of them bumbling and nervously through the castle was incredible. Like, they picked two people who they're nervous and they're confident in what they want to do. And when you're writing somebody who's up to something nefarious, having the conflicted emotions is really important for me. Like, unless you're writing them as a stone cold sociopath and you've justified that to the audience, committing crime is fucking scary.
Yeah.
And being a victim of crime is fucking scary. And then you seeing other people freaking out, even if you know why, will make you freak out a little bit. And so it's ramping up as they're sneaking through. And like the scene where they walk past Aegon, as aforementioned, incredibly
fantastic
well done.
scene. You know what scene? Other scene, sneaking scene I loved. The two of them just on their way up to the level with the royals, and Blood is like, "Which way do we go?" And Cheese is like, "I don't know. I've never been up there." And that is so fucking relatable that he totally bluffed on a job application.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he has to do it, right? He has to show that he can do the thing he did. Like, I thought it was your job to do that. I liked your statement on their characterization. I've seen some criticism that they're just randos, right?
Yeah.
We the audience have no connection to them. Like, some people have speculated that one of them would be Larys. Some people have speculated that one of them would be Damon himself.
Yeah.
No, they're just randos. We don't know them. We have no idea who they are.
I like that better than it being Damon and Larys, or there being some secret conspiracy to it. I do like it literally just being two people who were paid to do the job.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
People have been saying that they don't like they played into my argument almost perfectly. That they don't like that just random people had such a dramatic impact on the story that we've never known before, and
Neither did Franz Ferdinand.
this is exactly the take. I have this written down. I want to talk about Dan Carlin.
Yeah. JFK was so upset about that it blew his mind.
Oh no! End the stream. That's it. We're done. That's it. We're going back. We're spinning the wheel. We're spinning the wheel, everybody. Hang on. Hang on. No, we gotta do this. We gotta do this, and then this, and then this, and 100%. I promise we will come back to Blood and Cheese. But in the meantime, Zach,
Oh, we're already back.
talk to me about. Interesting. Talk to me about Helaena Targaryen. And if you would like to call in, oh, oops, I did the wrong thing again. If you would like to call in and talk about Helaena Targaryen, you can do so at the number below. At the number right underneath me. Yes, right. Hang on, right?
Yeah.
There. Yeah, you can call in right there if you would like to. And give us your thoughts on Helaena Targaryen. In the meantime, Zach, why don't you give me your thoughts on Helaena as a character? I've seen some real bad takes on the internet in the last couple of days, and I want to talk about some of them.
I think that her like the way she's written and acted in that final scene is pretty great. I feel like we've only got little flashes of her characterization before. I wish we got a more full Helaena centric scene. We did get a little bit of one earlier where she's like trying just to be a good parent while Aegon's trying to like juggle being a king, being a parent, and being a fucking asshole. Clear which one's taking priority.
I agree with you, and this is like the only criticism I have of her character so far is that I would have liked a little bit more of her earlier, because we've only gotten her as like, I don't know, like as an accent to other characters' scenes, and I love her. She steals the scene every time, but I would love a Helaena scene.
She's super like quiet and introverted, but you can do scenes with characters who aren't that talkative. This is something I really love the like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul universe for, is you get characters who don't say a ton, but they know how to shoot that character, so you get a lot of their facial expression, you get a lot of their like motions, and then with the dialogue you can understand, you peer into the character's head. The one thing I do want to say is they did a very good job with Rhaenyra this episode of really, like,
we can't talk about it. We haven't spun her yet.
We haven't spun her yet, but they've shown they're capable of that, at least this season. They had struggles with that last season. I would have loved just a like quiet Helaena like gets a vision scene where like she realizes something bad's going to happen today, preemptively. So like she like sits down and holds the kids, realizing that would have been good.
The one scene that we did, the one like standout pre-Blood and Cheese scene that we did get of her, I thought was extraordinary.
Yeah,
because she has a moment like she has, and I think it's fair to say that for her it's quite rare for her to have moments of like attempts at like real like direct personal connection right now in this moment.
Yes.
And she tried to have that with Aegon, and he snubbed her a little bit.
Yes.
She said, "I'm scared." And he said, "There's no need to be scared. They can't get here. Everything's totally fine." He brushes it off. And she says, "I'm not scared of the dragons. I'm scared of the rats."
Yes.
And that is so fucking scary. And, like, dude, even without Blood and Cheese in mind, you know that means something.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Rats you know what rat means?
Maesters.
Yeah.
Spies.
Maesters and spies. Yes.
Yes.
That scene was awesome.
Yeah.
That scene was awesome.
I wish we got a little bit more of Helaena in this episode, is my only complaint.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like every scene we got was great.
Yeah. But like honestly,
it was missing a beat.
Like I'm having trouble. The episode was the correct length, honestly, bordering on a little too long, because this episode was gut punch after gut punch. Every single scene hurt, and the last scene hurt
the most.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
I just don't know what scene you would cut.
Yeah.
To add more. So you know what? I love it. It's great.
I feel like the beginning could have been trimmed a little bit, but it was a fun scene to get the two of them conflicting. To get Rhaenys conflicting with
Damon. Oh my god, that scene fucking rocked.
Yeah.
Would that you were the king. My god.
I suppose you could have moved the Winterfell stuff to the next episode, but then you would not have Jace there for the funeral.
Jace wouldn't be in this episode. Jace would come back and hug Rhaenyra at the beginning of the next episode, and I think that just played so well.
You had to have him at the funeral.
It was so good. Oh my god, and Rhaenyra and Alicent mourning at the same time.
Yeah.
In different places, in different ways, being real humans who understand the consequences of the things that they have done and that have been done to them, regretting those consequences and doing them anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's writing. That's good writing. Holy shit. Y'all, Game of Thrones is good again. Did you guys know this? Okay, let's talk about...
As previously stated, they could do the funniest thing ever.
Oh, and just tank it?
Yeah, they could get back up to the highs that we had in seasons 3 and 4 and be like, so the final season's gonna have 3 episodes.
I want to go home. Let's talk about Helaena during Blood and Cheese. Because people have been saying that there was an inadequate amount of emotional expression from her and an inadequate amount of, fighting back, I guess, right?
If you are ever in a situation like that, you will be when somebody was trying to break into my house, I was just in shock and trying to get them to leave. I think I said, I don't know what you're doing here. Please leave, is what I said to the person in a very high strained voice, which admittedly worked.
Oh,
but
nice. Let's go.
They came back later.
Oh.
But that is how a lot of people react to being in that sort of scenario. Your brain's good at dealing with things when it knows what to predict next. When something so out of left field happens, it is hard to process. It is hard to consume.
I agree. I thought that her reaction was extremely realistic and, frankly, tactically correct.
Yeah.
Because she chose the only course of action that would get any of them out of there.
Yeah.
If she screamed, it would have gotten, right, Blood and Cheese would have gotten caught, but she would have been dead for sure. And then the correct course of action for Blood and Cheese is to grab both kids and book it.
Yeah.
Right? She picked the only course of action that saved any of them. And I love her, and she's my favorite character, and anyone who says anything bad about Helaena, I will fight. And then she is walking through the castle, which is fucking deserted, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone is in
bed.
Perfect dereliction of duty. Everyone is doing the worst job, especially Criston Cole. And I thought
have we ever seen Criston Cole be good at his job? Have we ever once seen him do something that deserves praise?
Yeah, he goes through the woods with Rhaenyra that one time.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Yeah. Oh, we're getting a call! We are getting a call in from one of our fine viewers. Hang on one second. Hello, caller. You are on the air. Who are we talking to?
Hello, gentlemen. This is Jack.
Hi, Jack. Hello. Thank you for calling in. We're talking about Helaena Targaryen. Please give us your thoughts.
Is that so that's the crazy one, huh?
This is the mom of Jaehaerys and Jaehaera. Yes.
Yes.
The mom of the 2 children. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know much. I know she's a dragon rider, right? Dreamfire.
She rides the dragon Dreamfire. Yes.
So I have have they even mentioned Dreamfire?
To my knowledge, only offhandedly in maybe the 3rd or 4th episode, maybe the 5th episode. But to my knowledge, we have never seen her with Dreamfire, and the only time we saw Dreamfire was when Aemond was running around the caverns downstairs. Her relationship in the show to Dreamfire, I think, is completely up in the air at this point.
Yeah, so full disclosure, I did not read Blood and Fire. I did read the main series, and but I have seen some videos on it and stuff, and I'm led to believe that Dreamfire is supposed to somehow, it's a big deal that it's one of the bigger dragons, and it's got the potential to swing the war somehow. But that they have not included it in the series is people aren't very happy about that.
I find this interesting as well. In how to phrase this without spoiling. In the book, Helaena is not very much of a combat dragon rider, so Dreamfire doesn't see all that much action.
Yes. Is a weapon that's always on the table for them, but because they have Vhagar and Sunfire, that Dreamfire or Sunfire. Am I mixing them up?
No,
Sunfire.
Dreamfire is Helena's.
Dreamfire is Helaena. Yes. Okay. Dreamfire is like reserve when you have Vhagar and Sunfire.
Yeah.
But would be like crucial to their plan if she were to switch to Team Black. That would be one of their most like powerful dragons. It would be top, like, I guess it is top 3 for them, but they only have so many. But it's just that, like, when you have a B-52 bomber having somebody with like a ye olde like Gatling gun fighter, it's nice to have, but not necessary.
Yep, and it's a Gatling gun fighter piloted by someone who doesn't like to fly,
and it is kind of over this whole dogfighting thing. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I have not read Blood and Fire, so I thought the first episode was pretty good. I saw you guys said I could talk about anything. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. As long as it conforms to YouTube's terms of service.
Okay. I gotcha. I had 2 things I wanted to ask you guys about. Stannis in the North, and because I was rereading that Theon Sample chapter in Winds.
Yeah.
And,
all right, we're pivoting. We're hard pivoting. Let's go.
Stannis.
That's one of my favorite chapters in the whole series.
Oh,
but,
it's really good.
So in the, I don't remember if it's towards the end or where it is exactly, but Stannis is asking Theon about Mors Umber's forces. I think Mors is the one outside the castle. And Stannis asks, how many men does he have? And Theon says he has no men, he has the boys. All the real men died with the Great John at the Red Wedding, but the Greybeards are inside inside Winterfell. And so I've seen all this stuff about the Night's Lamp and that theory. I'm starting to think that there could be something with the Greybeards that I don't know exactly what they would do, but that they might do something, and that like maybe they're the Trojan horse instead of the Night's Lamp. But I don't know. I was just curious what you guys thought, because I was wondering what is the point of even including that part in the chapter, like when Stannis is questioning him. It seems like everything in that chapter, there's relevance to it all, but then I don't understand what the point is of those 3 questions or Theon's response to that.
Yeah.
Except to say like.
Yeah, you want to take this, Zach? This is an interesting question.
It's been a hot minute since I read that chapter, but so that's because the Umbers are they're politically divided. There's a lot, like there's a mess going on in a lot of the northern houses. That's like one of the ones where there's a lot going on, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Having his army not be super well prepared could go a lot of different ways. We should expect some amount of treachery in the northern plot as well, both for the forces that are supporting the Boltons and potentially for Stannis, because you got something.
I got it. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Just off the top of my head, and it's been a minute since I read it too. Off the top of my head, here's my take. Everything in that chapter serves a purpose. What if this is lampshading that there is someone specific among those Greybeards who will be very significant in the power transfer that's about to happen at Winterfell? I think that we could make some really interesting theories about who that could be. Though my mind does want to go immediately to Howland Reed, although I do that a lot.
We do that a lot with Helen. One potential is that we could see, since the Greybeards are more like combat, like prepared and aware, people will look to them for leadership. So it could be that the boys will panic and look to the Greybeards, and if they have a couple people in the Greybeards who have been tipped off to strategically surrender at their earliest convenience once it becomes clear they have broken morale. That could be why. It could be that we're going to be introduced later to a couple key players, or if you want to get even crazier, Mance Rayder has disguised himself as a Greybeard so that he can intentionally mess with the battle. He would be able to pull himself off as a older warrior from the north, and then use that to command the still unable to grow a beard soldiers that are out there.
And then he can get to Old Town and find his daughter.
Yes, of course.
I think this is a very interesting thing to be thinking about, and you've made me want to go back and reread those chapters. However, do you have another? Did you have another question, another thought?
Well, on the topic of Mance Rayder, why not? Yeah. So I saw you guys' video with Rhaegar being Mance, and no offense, I was pulling my hair out the whole time, but there were only reaction. Only because, and I think I might have even more tinfoil for you. I don't think it's Rhaegar. You ready for this? Okay. I think Mance Rayder is Arthur. Rayder is Arthur Dayne.
I've heard this one. It's a lot of fun, but it's tough for me to get behind. Tell me your argument behind it.
I would love to hear your argument.
So, well, the thing that really swung me in Dance, and there's a bunch of stuff, but the big one is whenever Mance is disguised as Rattleshirt in the Jon chapter, and he spars with Jon. Do you remember that
Yeah, he uses a big sword.
Dance? Yeah, that's it. He asked for a great sword. And we know of like a few characters, like the Great Jon is one that can wield a great sword, Gregor Clegane, and then there's really not a whole lot of characters we know that wield great swords in A Song of Ice and Fire. I mean, there's ice, but so that's one. The other stuff is it's relevant to like what you guys were saying about Rhaegar too, because Mance definitely protects Jon, and like I think Jon is the son of Ned and Ashara, like. The way that would tie in is Jon isn't his son, isn't Rhaegar's son. He's Mance or Arthur's nephew. So like the way he's protecting Jon, it isn't because he's Rhaegar.
That would allow for the same like argument that we were making about why Mance was easy on Jon.
Because they're related, yeah. So
yeah.
That would still allow that, yeah.
I still hate it.
My problem is more if somebody is is Arthur Dayne up in the wall / north of the wall. I've always liked Qhorin Halfhand better because there's the famous like line.
You
the
love
Halfhand
this.
Came with Dawn.
You love this line so much.
Also, it would make sense. Like he like if he was wielding a great sword, he would have had like both hands on the sword. If he got into the fight at Tower of Joy, it could have been the case that Howland Reed saved him by literally like just aiming for his hand and cutting off like his fingers. It could. Or
I have not seen that.
Say again, Jack.
Seen that part. That would make some sense.
All right. Give us one more.
The thing about Qhorin Halfhand is that
Mance Arthur argument, and then we'll let you go.
Thank you for the time, gentlemen. The other part of it is that it's not just Mance who's...
Thank you for chatting with us.
What beautiful madness this fandom is. I love it. Jack, thank you very much for calling in. I think
one of you did text us. You can try calling in now.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Oh, we have another caller calling in. Hang on one second.
We have two incoming calls.
Hang on.
We have so many people trying to call us right now.
We have one on the air, and we've turned to Do Not Disturb. I will turn it back on once we are off with this individual. Who are we talking to?
Hi, this is Grifter. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Hello. Thank you very much for calling in. How are you today?
I'm doing great. This is really cool. Thanks for doing this.
Isn't this fun? This is so stupid.
We're having a blast.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm legit shocked it's working at all. But
if you feel like you're surprised, imagine how we are.
We're happy when a video goes up with no issues. The fact we have a working live stream with a call-in feature is honestly a miracle.
Remarkable, truly remarkable. All right, Grifter. What is your take today?
Well, I wanted to call because I had some quick thoughts about Helaena that I wanted to post to you guys, and really I was more interested just to kind of get your feedback on these thoughts that have sort of been kicking around in my head since the episode aired. But I still, just to play off of what that last caller said very quickly, I do think that Mance Mance's author would still work without Jon being the son of Ashara and Ned, because isn't Arthur Dayne basically described as like as Rhaegar's best friend? So at that point, even if R plus L equals J, you would assume that Arthur Dayne would still want to protect like one of Rhaegar's kids.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. He is the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. He is sworn. He's basically
basically
the sworn shield of that kid.
His oath never stopped, so he actually has to be protecting. If he thinks, that is a Targaryen kid there, true-born Targaryen kid, I have, as the Kingsguard, the duty to protect them. Yeah. This also means that the argument we made during the trial of Jaime Lannister is correct, that the Kingsguard that protects the Targaryens is distinct from the Kingsguard that protects the Baratheons, and therefore they had no grounds to sue.
Yes.
Mira.
Grifter, so give us your thoughts on Helaena.
So a couple of things that I've been thinking about since that episode aired, specifically in the Blood and Cheese incident, when they're questioning Helaena about the two children. They want to know which one is the boy. Helaena points, and when she does so, it's pretty haunting. She's basically like frozen. She has these big wide eyes. Blood doesn't believe her, but then she says something like she speaks true, and he also seems to be like very affected by that line.
Yeah, what a cool scene that was. What a cool interaction.
By the way, I agree with all of your earlier takes, like the how like she seems to be like neurodivergent coded, and her reaction like in general makes sense. But I'm interested in tying in the dreamer aspect of this. So with the 2 points that the 2 ideas that I just threw out there, or not really ideas, but just the description I threw out there, I also want to mention that sort of right from the start, like as in back in season 1, Helaena to me was very obviously like an allusion to Cassandra from Greek mythology.
I agree wholeheartedly. We were talking about this before we
got on the stream. I was making jokes about why Cassandra gives cryptic messages, and it's because she knows, being able to see the future, that nobody's actually going to listen. So, if you cross the sea, a great kingdom will fall.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Not listening. Nobody ever listens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think that she is absolutely Cassandra, like a direct allusion to Cassandra.
Yeah, and in the Greek myth, it's like I believe it's Apollo that falls in love with her, and she spurns him, and so she had the gift of prophecy, of like accurate, true prophecy, and then he applies a curse to her, which is that you will have true prophecy, but no one will believe you. Like, her curse is very explicitly handed down by the gods. No one is able to believe her, basically, is like one way to think about that. So here's what I wanted to pose to you guys. Firstly, the pointing and identification, as opposed to her being in shock, or it being, sort of from like a gamesmanship perspective, like the best way to potentially get the most people out. What if, which I still agree with, but what if instead of it's that Helaena is deciding to point at Jaehaerys, like it's less that and more that she's simply telling them what is about to happen, that it is like a prophetic moment. She's not saying that's the boy. She's saying him, that's the one you kill. And then...
Oh my God, that's a really dark take.
And as a second point, if you accept the Cassandra illusions, and you accept that at least it's possible that that's what she's doing in that moment, think about how much more tragic it makes this incident, because the only person that's ever believed her, that's ever believed one of her prophecies, is Cheese.
He's the only individual who has ever accepted it, and that makes that look between the two of them even more significant.
Yeah, it's not even that he thinks that she's telling the truth. It's he's saying no, this is true. He has a moment of spiritual sort of revelation or something.
Yeah, no. What she is saying is that this is the person that we kill.
That would also be a curse too, if the only people who ever believe you are people you don't want to, right?
Exactly. Oh, exactly. It's like a loophole for the curse, because the curse is supposed to be no one will ever believe you. That's the tragedy. Okay, what if the loophole is the only time anyone will ever believe you is that it will bring ruination upon you?
We're about to start talking about time traveling Bran right now, and you know what? I'm not gonna let us. We're not going down that road, but we will save that for another video. Thank you very much, Grifter. That is an interesting nightmare that you have just planted in my brain, and I really appreciate it.
That is fascinating. Now I kind of want to revisit all the Helaena talk.
Yeah, all the Helaena talk.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for giving me the time, guys. Always happy to make something slightly more horrible.
Yeah.
Y'all enjoy it.
Always enjoyable.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you.
So for anyone
10 missed calls.
For anyone who's just tuning in, especially 12 missed calls for everyone.
Turn off and do not disturb.
Give me a second, okay? Jesus. Give me a minute. This is too successful at this moment. Thank you to everyone who is calling in again. Can Zach sit a little closer to the mic, or can we turn up the gain? Yes, Zach will play with the mic here. Mira, thank you very much for being here. We have so many wonderful people. Oh my god, there's so many people in the chat right now. By the way, I saw Ross, thank you very much for the donation. Yes. We were on a call. I fell off a building swimming in a rooftop pool. Is that really? I'm very sorry if that is the case. If that's not the case, I accept that it's funny. We now have 18 missed calls, Zach. We now have 18 missed calls.
Every time we went to a missed call, it goes up. It's now at 19.
And every time we kiss, I swear I could fly. We are doing a call-in show, and I'm about to open the line here in just a second, so that you guys can call in and give us your takes on the show if you would like to. The number is right here, and I'm opening the line now. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and spin the wheel. I am spinning. We're spinning the wheel. And it is Joffrey Lonmouth. Honestly, we're skipping him. We're rolling again. We're rolling and we're getting a call. Leaf, that's funny, but we're too late in the stream for it. All right, we're going over here. Hang on. No, I hear you, I promise. Yes! All right, we got a good one. We're right here. We are hitting accept. Hello, you are on stream. Who are we talking to?
Hi. My name is a Bill Citizen, and I'm calling to report a serious crime. These guys, Zach and Tom, are trying to say that Mance Raider is actually Rhaegar, and I just can't stand for this. I watched this guy called Random Internet Guy, and I watched him disprove that shit like a million times. So
I'm sorry, caller. We got broken up there a little bit. You should try to call back and see if that fixes the problem. In the meantime, I've reopened the line to see if we can get another caller. Zach, was that funny or mean?
Yes.
Yes! Nice! All right.
That might be the funniest bit we've ever had on this channel.
The line is open. Dangerous Wolf, I don't know if you tried to call in, but if you want to call in, you are more than welcome. I have the lines open. In the meantime, Zach, Rhaenyra Targaryen.
This is, I think, her best acting episode as a character. It's Emma Darcy?
Emma Darcy, yep.
Darcy?
Yep.
Phenomenal job. All through facial expression and One
Oh
one
my-
actual line.
Oh my god, all the missed calls are all random internet guy. That's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Oh my god.
Yes.
What a great show we have. All right, Zach, please continue. I'm so sorry. Yes, the best. This human being, Rhaenyra, has literally one line the whole episode.
And in doing that, like, it makes the line so much more powerful, and you understand why Damon, like, immediately says, well, okay,
Yeah.
I have to kill Aemond. If my wife is that, like, it's a good thing for him to do politically, and if his wife is that pissed, like, Damon's...
I have a different reading of this.
No, Damon is a fucking mess. He feels emotion. Like, we get this pivotal character scene where it's what's her name? The White Worm?
Missaria.
Missandei. Yes. The first sex scene they have, he's like clearly working through a shit ton of emotions. He keeps this cold exterior a lot of the time, but you can see him seething under the surface. And like, you get that so much in this episode, and you like understand why she has that like bloodlust to her, why she is so upset very vividly, and then you understand why whether Damon is going there because he cares or whether he sees it as a convenient political excuse. That scene of her standing at the table, giving the one order and walking away,
Yeah.
is so powerful, and it immediately makes me buy everything that happens afterwards because of the power of that one scene.
It's the same thing that we talked about this before we went live. It reminds me of the historical thing where the guy, who was this?
I think it was King of England. It might have been one of the Richards.
We're gonna say Richard III because
Sure.
he's the one with the Shakespeare play. Won't someone rid me of this person? Right.
Troublesome priest, turbulent priest.
Right. Won't someone kill this person for me?
Yeah.
And you say that, and like this harkens to what Otto said to Aegon when the king speaks, all hear.
Yes.
Rhaenyra talked, and everyone heard her.
Yes.
And by God, did they attempt to do what she wanted them to do?
Very much so.
Holy shit. The scene, by the way, the scenes of Rhaenyra outside Storm's End, I think are my favorite scenes in the entire show. So
I adore those. One of the things I complained about in season 1 was there was a lot of lack of like difference between the scenes. There are scenes where a lot is going on in Game of Thrones. Like, one of my favorite, like, we both mentioned scenes we like just from season 1. I'm not the first person to like really shout out the scene where Ned and Robert are walking in the crypts.
Mhm.
They're talking. It's a fun conversation. We're getting world building. We're learning about the characters. That we got a lot of in this episode, where there's a lot of things going on. We're learning a lot of things at once.
Yeah, you were talking about that with the throne room scene,
Yes,
where there's interesting things happening in the background.
We also got a lot of reflective character moments where we got to understand the emotional state, the emotional conflicts that are at the cores of our characters. That's another thing that season 1 didn't have a lot of time for, that I felt like was really important for us to get now, because I understand how, like, Rhaenyra is going to be in a war where she's going to make a lot of decisions. Some are going to be good, and some of them are going to be bad, and some are going to have immediate consequences, some are going to have delayed consequences. And understanding that she is struggling as a human and a mother and just a person trying to exist and have her own life, and politically as somebody who's trying to assert herself as the queen of a realm, and those are coming into conflict, and those are both informing decisions and cannot be separated from each other, is going to make it all the more interesting and powerful when things go right or wrong for her.
Yeah.
And that was something I felt was a little bit lacking in season 1 that they are making up for so far in spades, and I hope that's a trend we see the rest of season 2, because I want to feel things when a character goes through a complicated part of their life. I want to feel many things. If you set it up early, I can feel different emotions in spades in a scene where nobody says a goddamn thing, which is what I felt
Yeah.
in that scene.
Just Rhaenyra
I felt
standing on a cliff, staring in horror out over the sea.
I felt her horror as she
Oh,
realized that it
God.
was true, that her son was dead. I felt the sorrow as she realizes there's nothing she can do to get him back, and then the rage that starts to take
Yeah.
its place,
My God.
all without her having to say a word.
I even felt her connection to Syrax. Right?
Yeah.
I felt the connection to Syrax when Syrax gets agitated and like moves closer
Yeah.
and then roars. Syrax, who comes in for that like fucking sick ass hot landing where he like comes, she like comes. Is Syrax a boy or girl? Do they?
I don't think it matters that much for dragons.
I know, but usually there's a convention that they usually use one or the other for the dragon. Like Vhagar, Vhagar's a she
Yeah.
most of the time, I think.
Chat, let us know.
Vhagar, they come in for like a super fucking hot landing, like a glider. They go slide through the fucking sand. It's amazing. Sorry,
Almost knocked my
sorry, I
glass
didn't mean
over.
to.
Just putting it closer to the edge.
By the way, Zelazor said Richard II was also a play, and I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk about Rhaenyra's scene with Jace, where Jace the only scene that I actually teared up at in the first season, was Viserys' speech over the dinner table.
Yes.
When he's like, I don't want you to come together because it's your duty. I want you to do it because I'm your grandfather.
Yeah.
And I care about all of you. And and he like takes the thing off and he's like, it's not a handsome face if it ever was, but it is. But I love you. Oh God, it's so, like I'm actually getting goosebumps because it's so good. I actually teared up during the scene with Rhaenyra and Jace when Jace comes in. He's like trying to be like he's got his like hands behind his back and he's standing at attention. And he's like, Cregan Stark's in, and Lady Erin's in. And then Rhaenyra stands up and walks over and gives him a hug, and it makes me. I actually fucking cried, dude. It was really good.
That was very good.
It was really good. It was a good scene. This show's good, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this show's good. Can you believe it? This show's good. Oh man.
Yeah. No, that was a very good scene, and it was pretty emotional watching it. They've gotten better at communicating things really effectively, and that was a really, really good way to like. It reminds me a lot of times that people in my family have died, and just how everybody like they're trying to do something helpful and they can't keep it up. And then you put the backdrop of a war on there, and it becomes all the more like impossible for them to process. Which we're gonna see a lot more of the show. The show season 3 might just be like the most miserable politics ever like seen. It's just weeping people making political decisions.
You're describing a Feast for Crows.
Yeah. Feast for Crows is weeping people dealing with the consequences of other people's political decisions, and they can't even give those people shit because they're dead.
Oh, I thought that was a caller. Turns out
that might be me getting a text.
I have multiple missed calls. Do I have calling on?
Yeah,
I do.
Did we miss?
I also have a new voicemail and another new text. Dangerous Wolf says, going to bed soon. Thank you very much.
You can call in if you're able.
Hanging out?
If you want to. If you're still around.
Michael says when they threw the toy in the fire.
Yeah.
Zelazor says, can I call in again to talk about Shakespeare? I'm going to say not yet. Not yet. Call in near the end to talk about Shakespeare. Or you can call in to talk about Shakespeare if your takes are very quick. Zach, I think that, like, Rhaenyra, all of her scenes are very simple, but incredibly emotionally resonant. I think that they're wonderful. I think they're beautiful. Yes. I don't have all that much else to say about him. You want to spin the wheel?
What I have to say is I'm very much looking forward to see how in the next episode she deals with like the fact she is still grieving, with also the fact that things are compounding a lot worse politically very rapidly.
I'm excited to see Emma Darcy actually talk. It's just pure face acting. like the entire episode. It's just like really good, like, and like. It looks like I'm mocking them. I'm not. I'm not trying to.
They did a very good
It's just
job.
really good.
Yes.
All right, I'm spinning the wheel. Zach, please talk to me about Kevin Lannister.
Kevin Lannister?
Kevin Lannister.
The one from
Correct.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite Lannister. He's the least problematic Lannister.
I think Tyrion's my favorite Lannister. He's the one that I like reading the most.
Okay, the Kevin Lannister's the Lannister I most like to know as a person.
Respectable. This is a respectable take.
He is no longer a person. He is a corpse.
The seahorse broke me. Oh, everyone's talking about the seahorse toy. Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh god. Helaena also had an amazing performance.
Yes.
I saw a play with Emma Darcy just talking for 2.5 hours, and they ate so hard. They're so fucking good. That's very. What play was Emma
what play?
Darcy in?
Oh, we're gonna get.
We are getting a call in. Hold on 1 second. Bonk. Bonk. Hello, you are on the air. Who are we talking to?
Hello, this is longtime listener, first time caller, Fortma.
Forge, hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, little people.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Forge, you're breaking up just a little bit. Say again.
I said, hello, beautiful people. I wanted to call in just to go ahead, and you just spun this bit there on the wheel. I wanted to ask,
We had clear, crisp dialogue right up until you said, I wanted to ask. So just after that, one more time.
I wanted to ask, we have a Tyland Lannister in this episode playing the role potentially of becoming a piggyback, a horse, a pony, and I believe Aegon calls him. I wanted to know, famously, we've seen Lannisters be associated with horses and centaurs. I wanted to know if there's anything you can add to that.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, make our take official. And you get to decide. What is the case?
There has to be one person in the writer's room who is obsessed with, like, tinfoil theories. And I don't know how that's not the case. If you put together a bunch, like, the writers are nerds.
They are. They gotta be nerds.
I write fiction, and I'm a fucking nerd. So people who write professionally are professional nerds, which will be us the second that the Patreon YouTube money clears all our bills.
Yeah.
Right now we're hardcore hobbyist nerds.
I put flipping Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged references in half the stuff I make. If someone in there is watches Glidus like we watch Glidus, they might have done that.
In a theory I'm going to present for you soon, and this is a hint that you'll get. I realized there was a plot beat was directly from a Monty Python movie, so I included it to make the video funny.
Shit. So,
100% is if there's one person in there who watches Glidus, that was on purpose, and there has to be.
And if there's no one in that writer's room that watches Glidus, it's fucking hilarious.
Yes,
it's way funnier.
It's way funnier. I agree.
Forge, is this a satisfactory answer?
That is very satisfactory. Thank you both. You guys are awesome. Love you both.
Thank you for calling in.
Everybody check out Forge on Twitch, by the way. You do GeoGuessr and ChatGuessr stuff, and it's really fun.
Yeah, go
It's
learn.
fun just to watch. I'm terrible at it, but I'm learning what plants on sides of roads look like in different countries.
I have since becoming friends with you, Forge, I have become markedly better at GeoGuessr.
Heck yeah. All right, see you guys.
Goodbye. I love this format.
This is great.
I love this format.
This is doing great.
Let's do this every day.
Did you ever watch the there was this guy who did like fake comedy shows with a call-in thing. So he did like a fake political one, but he also did Jesus Chatline where he was a fake pastor.
Oh no.
And he would give people would call in. The people calling in are trying to troll him because they think he's a real pastor, and they're expecting to be trolled back by a guy who is giving them actual terrible advice.
Yes. That's really good. and
Somebody,
really funny.
somebody asked how he can be absolved of a sin. He's like, oh, it just sounds like you're after the A on that one.
No, that one. Yeah, that one's permanent. Never comes out. You're going down. Oh my God, we're getting a call. Oh wait. Oh, did we?
Oh yeah, we can get two at the same time. Click out that one at the bottom.
Boop.
Yeah. And then that one you can decline.
Hello, welcome to the show. You are on air. Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's Mira.
Hi.
Oh my goodness! Hello, welcome to the show. We're doing a call-in
I was
thing.
about to say, I think I recognize it.
Isn't this stupid?
No, I love it. I am enamored with this concept, and I'm so glad that you guys are able to like actually sit down in a room together. I think it's like
Yes.
it's really fantastic to see you both at work in real time.
It is great.
Here's a pleasant sidebar. We're actually pushing a record viewership right now. We're not there, but we're like getting there.
I think people can see two of our faces and see like yeah. I think if you pop into the stream, this is way more interesting than what you normally are visually greeted with. And call-in show. That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is just a very fun bit. Mira, thank you very much for calling in. Mira reads on YouTube, by the way. Please tell us give us your takes. Give us your House of the Dragon takes.
Well, I've got like 16 billion, but I wanted to tack on. I didn't catch the name of the person who most recently called in to talk about Helaena, but they're awesome, whoever that was. And I wanted.
I believe that was
I wanted.
Thank you very much, Grifter, for
Yes,
calling
thank you,
in, by
Grifter.
the way.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Helena's running to Alicent after Blood and Cheese kill her baby. That like I've seen a lot of criticism of this decision, like on social media and in commentary spaces, that it differed from the books, that Alicent wasn't present when it happened, and that she was indisposed, if you will, engaging in sexual activities. And there was a quote that I thought of immediately from an Anita Blake book. And Tom, I've been after you forever to read Anita Blake, because if you like Jim Butcher, you'll like Anita Blake.
You can't call me out on air for not doing your recommendations. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I also don't watch and read things people recommend, so I haven't read The Gunslinger. So
we could do an interesting book club with like, honestly, even if it's just like me, you, Mira, and like RIG, like all recommending books to each other.
I've wanted to do this like every 3 months. We all agree to read a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like a year ago, you and I, Tom, talked about doing a series about the Dark Tower. And then we just didn't.
Yeah.
But so this Anita Blake quote is, it's like a little boy realizing that the monster under the bed is very real, and it's screwing mommy. And like, I hadn't read those books in at least a decade, and that quote just popped into my head immediately, because the monster being real is horrifying and terrifying on like a visceral level, but the monster screwing mommy is like the end of the world. You know, that is the complete break from childhood. And like, I felt like that scene really encapsulated that. And so like, I don't know what you guys thought of that choice to place Alicent where she was instead of in the room with Helaena.
I thought, I've talked to a lot of people about this. I thought it was handled very well. I'm glad we got the setup prior of them having sex, so
Yes.
It wasn't a surprise, because there's a lot going on in that scene. It's not a surprise to us, it's a surprise to Helaena that she is unable to, like, one of her kids is dead. She can't even process the fact she's watching her mom have sex with her, like, personal bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not front of mind for her. But it will lead to interesting like conflict down the road, because Criston Cole has to lie about why he wasn't there.
Yeah, there's gonna be and I've been talking about this since the episode aired. There's gonna be a lot of discussion about like blame and responsibility about this, just like there is about Luke's death. And I think that discussion is going to be really interesting. Like Aemond looking Criston in the eye and saying, "Why weren't you there?"
Yeah.
And then looking from him and looking to Alicent and looking back to him. I look forward to a scene like that.
Well, and I think Chris is going to take a lot of the blame on Larys as well and say, like, you know, it is his responsibility to make sure there was nobody who could do this in the building. To be and I can only be at one place at one time.
Oh my god, because the Ratcatcher
Because
is
he's
employed in the castle, and Larys said just this episode, "I am satisfied that I have all the people taken out."
Yeah, both of them work within the confines. Even if the guy only like is a guard outside of the castle, he's still on the employ of the kingdom. He is still a public employee. So 2 public employees just whacked a baby, and that's not incorrect.
I'm not saying it's incorrect. That's just it's more fun of a way of putting it than I would have expected.
Yeah.
All right, you finish this up, and then I want to hear Mira's. I want to give my response to Mira's initial question. Then I want to respond, and then I want to hear Mira's responses.
Well, I thought it was handled very well. I think one complaint I hear is that they should have locked the door, but one, we don't know if that door has locks or not. It may not have had them. 2, I think you could have still got that even if it was like, you know, her knocking on the door frantically would have worked too. So I think it's a creative choice to have that there because you can. It's HBO. You can show people having sex. Like you can't do that on most networks with that amount of detail.
Yeah.
Like you might as well. And number 3, I forgot the door before. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he who's out sin cast the first stone on that one, and I can't throw the stone.
Yeah, but be careful because 1 in 10 stones will send you the Night's Watch. My feeling on that scene, on the end of that scene, the last like few shots, I think is pretty short. I don't think that, and I know this is gonna sound silly and sound like dismissive. It's not. It really isn't. I don't think I've ever identified with the character quite as much as I did with Helaena in that moment. With everything happening, the world is crumbling. There's the worst disaster imaginable. I have to go talk to my mom.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy shit! I've never identified with the character so much. Oh my god.
Yep. That is whenever I am in like a point where I don't know what to do. There's a list of people I call, starting with my mom.
Yep, my mom is at the top of that list. Yep. I go to I call my mom, and if my mom doesn't pick up, I consider the world destroyed. I could that's it.
Legitimately, it goes. If my mom does not pick up, I call actually it's usually you who's like second in priority.
Got you.
I have a feeling I'm in a similar rank, but
like if you need to break into your car.
If I really need to like get somebody else's perspective, I call Tom. But if I do need somebody to help fix my car, I will also call Tom.
Yeah.
But still pretty reliable.
Oh, I meant if you're locked out of your car, it's 2 a.m. Tom will come break in.
That's true. Tom's good at breaking into cars.
I'm good at opening things.
I'm sorry. There was a deep callback to one of your episodes.
Yes.
So Mira, if you would like to, how do you feel about those answers? I think that your question is one of the most discussed questions so far since the episode aired, and I'd love to hear more of your thoughts.
Yeah. So Tom, I fully identify with and agree with your take that psychologically one of our, if not the most basic instinct that we have as mammals is to look for mommy. When something is scary, when something bad happens, you look for mommy, because when you're a baby, when you're a small child, mommy is what keeps you safe from the rest of the world. And there's an argument to be made that adulthood happens the moment you realize mommy can't keep you safe anymore. You know, when you're terrified out of your mind and the world is ending and mommy doesn't pick up the phone, mommy doesn't answer the door, mommy isn't home when you need her. And like, I think that is like kind of thematic, like throughout the whole episode. But for Helaena, it was just such an intense moment of failing to protect her own child, running to her mother, and then her mother failing to protect her.
Yeah.
It was just like I felt it in my bones. And I can't remember where I was going with that. I think that was kind of it. As far as like the door locking, Zach, yeah, like, so we know the door on Rhaenys' room could lock from the outside, or like doors could have like a bar placed across them, or like, you know, be like barricaded from the outside, but we don't have any evidence that they could be locked from the inside. You know, like if this was prior to deadbolt technology, you would need a key to lock your room from the inside. You know, like we didn't see Rhaenyra's room being locked from the inside when she snuck out. So, you know, I don't think it is that much of a leap to assume that like people just don't lock their doors in this castle, or at least not from the inside.
I think this is very reasonable. My first thought in response to that was, well, she's the queen. She was the queen for a long time. She's one of the most powerful people in the Seven Kingdoms. Can't she get a bolt put in? Well, but then you have to say, so, like, the first person to notice that is gonna have some questions.
Well, not only that, maybe she's just used to keeping her door unlocked because she was a mother. She's used to like kids running in during like dark of the night. She's not used to fucking somebody also, and I gotta say, unless Daeron is her kid.
And servants, and this is also like a cultural thing that has really gone by the wayside. That as the royal family, their lives are very public. That at any given moment, like we saw, in episode 4 when the servant lady came into Alicent's room and it's like, the king will see you now. Like she's in bed and this woman just wanders in. That like it is expected that you're kind of on display at all times, even if it is just for the servants. And you know, if she is, you know, having sex with the king, that is also like on public display. Like it used to be, like consummation of a marriage was a public. Consummation of a royal marriage was a public viewing event for the court, you know.
Well, and that's the thing in Westeros too, where they like the first betting is like witnessed by people.
Yeah, and like I think it's implied that like they strip you and everybody stands outside the door. I mean, maybe they go in and watch, but yeah, like this idea of privacy, of locking your bedroom door, I think is not. I don't want to say it completely doesn't exist, but in this society where the royal family is in the public eye at all times, I think it's just kind of not done.
I think this is an excellent position. I also like in the chat we have Kevin's take that she's currently banging the lock on her door.
Yeah, that too. Oh yeah. That was it. That was my last thought. Zach, I completely agree about the fallout from this. That Alicent is now going to be mistrustful of Larys, and there's going to be a rift between her and Criston. Either she's going to blame him for not assigning someone to the door as the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, or she's going to blame herself and take it out on him. You know, or like, if you hadn't seduced me, this wouldn't have happened, you know. But Larys, we've seen, has already tried jumping ship to Aegon. So I think we might be facing a moment where all of these relationships that Alicent has built up are going to come crumbling down. That she, in and of herself, has no money, no soldiers, no skill at arms. She has nothing. And in season 1, episode 9, she had the loyalty of Aemond and Criston, and she had almost exclusive access to information from Larys. She was in a somewhat powerful position, but if she loses those 3 men, what else does she have? So I think that's going to be extremely interesting to see how that plays out. And also, like, the blame thing. Did you guys catch that every woman who is a major player in the story was blamed for the start of the war at some point in the episode?
Oh, hang on.
Yup.
Yeah, Rhaenys gets blamed.
Rhaenys gets blamed.
Damon blames Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Alicent gets blamed. And nobody blames Aemond directly. Nobody blames Aemond, who actually started the war.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody blames...
Or Otto, who plotted all of this behind Rhaenyra's and Alicent's back all this time.
That is
you
fantastic observation, dude. That's extraordinary.
And all the blame is on them for inactions versus actions. They're being
with the exception of Miss Arya, that Damon blames her for handing over Aegon. Like, if you hadn't given him up, they couldn't have crowned him. But Miss Arya was like, what was I gonna do? Like, lock him up? Like, he was gonna go home eventually. I just sped things along.
Yeah,
which is entirely correct. By
yes, they blame Rhaenys very specifically for not murking her own family, and while she had the opportunity, like, I understand why she would show some restraint there. They could have had a more philosophical debate, like a better political thing to do there, but she was flying on a dragon out of the city at the time, so I understand.
Well, and I think the thing that, and I'm giving away some of my essay that I still haven't published, the thing that a lot of people discount is that Jaehaerys, the ostensible crowned prince, was not present, and neither were any of the Hightowers. So you now have arguably the legitimate male heir to the throne still alive, and the second, or like the two second wealthiest houses in the country with a full army and a full treasury who are going to back this kid. So even if you kill Aegon and Helaena and Aemond and Alicent and Otto, you're still going to have to contend with a Hightower Lannister faction backing Jaehaerys. Like, there's still going to be a war, even if Rhaenys blows them all up in the Sept. So, or not the Sept, the Dragon Pit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. The only like, from there, the only way you avert war is by, frankly, like, kidnapping and executing a bunch of people.
Or somebody has to unilaterally surrender and tell all their allies, we have unilaterally surrendered.
Yes, you need to, like, secure... You need to somehow convince Otto Hightower's brother, whose brother you just flame broiled, that you should relax and not be upset about this.
Unilaterally surrender.
And
when the personal stakes are so high, and these people are, like, out for vengeance or out for, like, blood in general, they're the least likely people to de-escalate.
Right. Well, and what she would really have to do, she would have to then go to the Red Keep and execute these two small children in cold blood. And is there a timeline where Rhaenys does that? Absolutely the McFuck not. Like, I could see Rhaenys flame broiling Aegon, but no way does she execute Jaehaerys and Jaehaera in cold blood. Like, no. And I think that would make her fucking evil if she did. Like, oh, one of my favorite quotes. Actually, there are two characters who talk about this, and I promise after this take I'll shut up and let somebody else call. Davos, when he is talking to Stannis, and Stannis says, what is the life of one child against a kingdom? And Davos says, everything. When they're talking about burning Edric Storm. And Doran Martell has a similar take about the children. I'm keeping the peace for the children. I'm keeping the peace for them. I don't want them to grow up in a land that is war-torn, without their parents. So, yeah, I think that's kind of like one of Gurm's central theses of, like, hey, maybe don't execute children, which brings us back full circle to Blood and Sheath.
And this has all served as a sneak peek at Mira's essay, which you can watch at some point this week, maybe.
Yeah. So I did publish a season 2, episode 1 quick take. I'm actually, as soon as I hang up, I'm probably going to go record part 2 of that, and then I also have 2 hours of footage doing a deep dive focused on season 1, episode 9, but really kind of discussing themes throughout the season, just like through the lens of episode 9. I think I actually put together a really good defense of that episode. So,
All right.
yeah, doing a lot of HotD stuff.
So if you want good House of the Dragon season 2 takes, good House of the Dragon season 1 takes, and one phenomenal game of Jeopardy, you should go subscribe to Mira Reads.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Wait, can I tell them?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
We just spoiled it.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, but he didn't really spoil it. Okay, so Tom and Zach were gracious enough to join me, and Tom was gracious enough to basically run the game for me. But we recorded a game of Jeopardy with not one, but 2 celebrity guests, and like actual celebrities, not like our friends. And not to say that I don't love playing games with our friends, but should I name them or should it be a surprise?
I leave that entirely up to you. This is hype for your channel. Please.
Okay. Well, so since there's 2, we'll split the difference. One of them is Glidus, and the other one is a mystery guest who you will find out about upon publication of the game that I need to edit.
And it contains some of the funniest jokes any of us has ever told, so you should go subscribe to Mira right now.
And the only censored
Yeah.
Yeah, only half of them are censored. The other half are available on Mira's Patreon. All right, Mira, thank you very much for calling.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great night. Yeah. Oh, man. This is a fantastic format, Zach. This is really good.
It's great.
Holy shit. We've missed so many good chats.
8 episodes this season?
8 episodes. 8 episodes this season, yes. Jackie says, I bet you're doing lots of HotD stuff. We repositioned the mic so that it's more between us.
Yes.
Hopefully this is a little bit better.
I can't imagine. Oh, I'm still quieter for some reason. Maybe my voice is just quieter.
Yeah, because you're talking at this volume.
You always say I talk too loud when we're recording, and then like
no,
is it that my volume's inconsistent? I suppose.
Yeah. Wait. This is your recording volume, right? Go ahead.
I'm speaking in my recording volume.
No. See, you went down to your sound check volume there.
This is my regular volume.
Whenever anyone tells you to talk, you go down to your sound check volume.
It doesn't look all that different from right now when I'm in the mic settings that I'm looking at. We can take it off Do Not Disturb. We can get more callers in.
We can. Bear in mind, the next person has to talk about how good Zach's mic sounds.
Or House of the Dragon, or anything A Song of Ice and Fire related, or anything related to this channel.
But just the first
topics.
But just that first one. Does Glidus count as a celebrity? Yes. Yes. Because he would think that's funny, and so do I.
My roommates independently know who Glidus is. So
isn't that wild? What cool people we hang out with, dude. This is awesome. Stupid shit we do, my god. So you should go check out Mira and this cool person you might not have heard of. His name is Glidus.
Every time I mention to people that we do A Song of Ice and Fire YouTube, if they know what that is, they ask, have you ever talked to Glidus? I'm like, yeah, I have. He's a really cool guy. Oh, awesome. Have you ever talked to Alt-Shift-X? No.
Mira says Glidus is a celebrity. He got a press pass for HotD and interviewed Gurm. That is hard to argue with.
That's true.
That's hard to argue with.
Glidus has been name dropped. Glidus and Alt-Shift-X has been name dropped on George R. R. Martin's blog.
Yeah, and he's been directly referenced in House of the Dragon.
Yeah, with the horses.
Yes. His Lannister horse thing has been directly referenced.
We can't prove that somebody in the writer's room didn't also watch our horse videos.
You're right. They're directly referencing our horse videos.
We're celebrities.
Yes. All right. The lines are open. If you would like to call in, you are more than welcome. Thank you very much to Mira and to everyone who has called in. You guys are fantastic. And Zach, I'm going to go spin the wheel.
I'm going to wrap my tea. Tell me who we get.
All right. There is not that much left on the wheel. I am spinning, and we have gotten... Oh, blood. We've talked quite a bit about blood and cheese so far today, Zach.
We can always talk more.
We can. This is extremely true. So, blood specifically, I want to talk a little bit more about how they don't seem to be connected to any of the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Blood, remembers Damon, but Damon definitely does not remember Blood.
Yeah.
And dude, they aren't even given names. They don't even have names. They aren't even named Blood and Cheese. We never learn any information about them.
Yeah.
To a person who hasn't read the books, I have your face covered. To a person who hasn't read the books, they are nobody.
Yeah. And to the people in the story, they are nobody. That's what makes it so terrifying. Is it is a complete stranger to them. And while they can maybe if they get captured and tortured, they could tie it back to Damon. But if they get away with it,
yeah.
Who the conspiracies you can write off of that because they are just two randos who are paid off to do it.
Yeah.
People will be live writing in universe their own conspiracies about who done it. And while the obvious answer is the other side of the Civil War, and that's the correct answer, I do expect some people to claim that somebody inside the Small Council must have tipped them off, right?
Yeah.
Larys must be in on it, or Otto must be in on it, or something like that. Could be
Criston wasn't there. Yeah. When we are getting a call in, but oh no, I clicked the thing again. I clicked the thing. This show is a disaster. Hello, you are live on air, and we were talking about blood.
Oh my God, blood.
Who are we talking to?
Hi, this is Reagan. I guess I'll just use my real name. Hi, this is Reagan. I'm Sticksbones in the Discord server, but yeah, happy to call in.
Yeah,
oh my God, especially after the magnanimous Amira Reed, who's always blessing us with so much thought and so much depth in this crazy fandom.
All my best fairy related theories that I believe come from Mira. It's very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Anything Fae adjacent, I believe, is because Mira believed it.
Zach, have we ever, and Reagan, I'm sorry to do a little sidebar. Zach, has it ever occurred to
please.
you that we are a part of the best group in any fandom?
We're definitely one of the more fun and so much. I was talking about this earlier that so many fandoms suck, and if you get 4 people of that fandom in the same room, the most likely thing to happen is an argument. Well, I don't think that's not true of A Song of Ice and Fire. It seems like we're at least better of putting people who agree and can respectfully have a conversation in a room. It's probably because we're addicted to fan theories instead of putting a different lens on it. Although we're still good at that without an argument breaking out.
And our little corner in particular with our little net of nerds is fantastic. It makes me so happy. All right, Reagan, I'm so sorry. Please give us some of your House of the Dragon takes.
I've been thinking about this for a little bit. I started watching your guys' videos 3 months ago with the with eggs. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on YouTube anymore.
Oh.
It's this fucking
but
channel.
that the election.
It's this fucking channel, bud. You swear as much as you want to on this fucking channel.
Yeah, the election. But I watched a Preston Jacobs video from the podcast where they were talking about how Rhaegar was much of a villain, and it sort of spurned this thought in me where, at least for me, I know a lot of people have been talking about how House of the Dragon feels very black, biased, and but sort of pulling myself out of the story and the sort of emotions of it, I feel way more connected with the Greens. When you think about the Targaryens as eugenicists more than kings or rulers, and you get past all the sort of oh, this is what Viserys wanted, and you start examining Otto and Alicent more on no, they want power away from these incest eugenicists. It's just sort of like, I don't know. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that because I've definitely seen a lot of people being like, "Oh, the show is very black. The show is very like Team Black."
Yeah, like
I don't
tilted in Rhaenyra's favor.
But at the same time, it does point out how weird it is, particularly for Damon and Rhaenyra, to be married and having children. Like brother sister incest was
Right.
tolerated. That was the generational gap was what was considered weird. But at the same time, there is sort of a relief, and this is something that's definitely in the books in Fire and Blood. The Targaryens have to fight back. There's a natural inclination for the other houses of Westeros to reject their incest.
Right.
And
Yeah, to reject them as overlords entirely. We see this come to a head in A Game of Thrones with the line, "It was the dragons we bowed to."
yeah,
The dragons are gone.
yeah. And even then we do get little hints of that, like in the beginning of this episode, Cregan's like, "I'm glad you didn't threaten me with your dragon. You gave me the mercy of not threatening me with the dragon." The fact that they have these seemingly magical attunement to dragons that is connected to their bloodline. They're obsessed with their bloodline by having the High Towers marry into it. It also reasserts some, because the High Tower, Old Town, was at that point the center of the Faith of the Seven Church. It wouldn't be until Baelor that they sort of gravitated more towards King's Landing as their base of operations after he built the Sept. But they're still very powerful there, and the Maesters as well. So all the institutions that we think of as being very Westerosi institutions are based out of Old Town, and there's a power shift to the city that they literally built like on a swamp somewhere. And it's not like Monty Python where it fell in 3 times before it stayed, but did you know that joke from Monty Python, The Holy Grail?
I don't.
They told me not to build a castle in a swamp, but I did anyways. Sunk into the swamp. Then I built another castle. That one sunk into the swamp too. But then I built a third castle. That one burnt down, fell over, and sunk into a swamp. But the fourth one stayed. But yeah.
I also have another perspective, like on the current story. Like I agree. I think I might have agreed with that take. I've heard that take a lot too. That it's very black team like centric because ostensibly Rhaenyra is the main character, and it like her and her team are in the most positive light. However, this episode in particular, I think, did a lot to make to try to make the audience sympathetic to the Greens.
Yeah.
Like I think
Right.
the person who, this makes me want to throw up into my mouth. The person who was the goodest, right? The person who, like, was the most positive, who tried to be the most positive force. This episode was probably Aegon II, because my man was like trying to govern well. And I hated it.
He's not particularly
And
confident in it, and
he's
dealing
so
with, like,
terrible.
Sorry, go ahead.
Aegon is really terrible, and we can't. I mean, like George likes, or like there's the famous George quote of like, "Oh, what was Aragorn's tax policy?" We can't like look back and be like, okay, which out of the 2 rulers, like which between Rhaenyra and Aegon, who would be the like kindest and like sort of a voting bracket, like vote by issue sort of way. But like it was genuinely surprising to see like have a tiny little bit of me be like, okay, Aegon might not be like 100% or like 99% bad, evil, gross guy. And that felt weird. It was like I was like reckoning with myself watching it, where I was like, all the things that like are the core memories for this character in season 1 are terrible, awful things. That he's like mean to his brother. There's the stuff with this like bastard and the fighting pits, and the handman. It's all just like, and then he's like, oh, but shouldn't we just give this guy his sheep back? And it's like, you see that one little bit of policy action where he's like, I think I could be a good king. And like, especially Otto in that scene where it's like, I've never liked Otto, and I've disliked him for being a schemer, but like, can you really blame him? Like, especially around the time of like Damon, like no wonder he wanted to protect the realm from these kind of guys.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I think they show both perspectives pretty well. Mira said in the chat that Aegon II is trying to do what's popular, and that's his like primary goal, and that's true. But that can lead him to do the right thing. We can see, like, even though he's a terrible person, that like there are carrot and stick ways you can get him to behave in a way that we would consider like beneficial politically. They can probably get him with the right people around him to make decisions that, like, were it not the middle of the most cataclysmic war that is about to be there,
Yeah.
he could potentially have a government around him that keeps him from doing active, terrible things to people with his power, lets him feel like he's being a good king, and he could still make decent decisions.
Yeah.
Like
at the very, it appears that he has the capacity to make, like at least he has like some amount of sense of what would make good policy positions for his constituents.
Yes.
And
right.
I would agree. I agree with the take. Tom, can you turn your volume down, please?
Wait, they said volume up.
Tom's mic is really good, by the way. A great
doing
mic,
what's
by the way.
popular can be the right thing when it's well thought out. Doing it Aegon's way will bankrupt the crown.
That's
a fantastic
That's
take.
what I want to say.
Excellent.
Otto,
wonderful.
Otto is like a typical like state building bureaucrat where he understands exactly. He has a plan that he has considered for like a lot of different outcomes. And he knows worst case scenario, we're going to need a lot of food here because it might be the case that there like is active conflict or occupation around us. And the longer we can hold out, the significantly better it is for us. And that's the correct plan to make. That's the correct decision. Having Otto constantly in conflict with the king's words and actions is it's the worst of both worlds. You're getting all these populist promises that he can't possibly keep because it conflicts with the plan.
Yeah.
And because he has to sometimes try and deliver on these like populist promises, he either needs to fail to deliver on every single promise because you can't build what you need to win a war when you're handing things out like that, or you need to sometimes pilfer your own supplies to make people feel good in the moment. And the thing I see is we might at some point see that come to a head where they go too far in one direction of that sort. The economics of it and the tax policy of it in the book is a huge aspect of how just the average people are hurt by this war, and how the policies they had to pursue to win the war don't fit with governing a large group of people. You can't have good military policy and good public policy at the same time in the same place. It's very difficult.
And to circle it back around to the original question, all like the fact that we're even having this discussion makes the Greens and like we haven't even touched on all the stuff with Helaena. This all makes the Greens more complicated.
Yeah.
In spite of and saying that makes me nauseous.
Even though we don't want to cheer for them, we don't want to see them be like doing an active, horrible, bad job. We want to see them lose, but we want to see them lose graciously, and we don't necessarily want this to be punitive towards them.
It's easy to hate Joffrey when he's torturing people. It's harder to hate Joffrey when he tortured someone yesterday and tried to give shepherds back their sheep today. It's fucking hard, and the story is complicated, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Aegon, so like the problem with Aegon as a king, as it seems right now, is he's so like in the moment, like looking at what's right in front of him, and is like he even like leans over to Otto and he's like, but we can give this guy back his sheep, right? And then he's like, but this guy might go and like do populism and be like, hey, Aegon's giving back all these sheep.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just like
he's a dumbass.
So, he doesn't know a problem's a problem until it's like literally in his face. We have the little like moment with Hugh Hammer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay you guys real good." It's like that is not a plan, my friend.
This is
Not my friend. I don't want to call him my friend. I retract my friend.
This is a retraction noted. This is a bad policy decision made for selfish reasons.
Yes.
That sounds really good to everyone but Otto Hightower.
Yeah, and
Right.
just throwing money in cheap at people deprives you of things you may need for other reasons. They could have said, okay, what's something we can do to make your process more streamlined so you're working not as many hours, or maybe we can give you better housing, like we have plenty of it. These are things that are like complicated for him to deal with, and he's going for the like slam dunk every single time. There are very few. It's not that silver bullet like policies don't exist in public policy. Sometimes you find something that really does just work exactly as well as you think it would. But when you have that many things conflicting going on right now, like I don't envy Otto Hightower for trying to make three different plans at once.
Yeah.
To legitimize the rule, to solidify the rule, and to win the war contesting the rule are all three distinctly different tasks that require different tools, and they don't have all the people they need for it.
All right, Reagan, on that note, I think we're going to let you go, but please give us your final take on this. I hope we responded adequately.
I just hope that everyone gets to hold hands at the end and nothing bad happens in the next episode.
I hope everyone gets to hold hands, probably except for Aegon and Damon, who can like live on their own island away from everybody else.
Yeah, I think they would get along really well. Or like Damon and Aemond at Buffalo Wild Wings, you know? It's just like, I think they'd have a good night.
Yeah, like Damon, Aemond, Aegon, and let's go with Cregan at Buffalo. I think that'd be a very funny thing.
I was gonna say Carl because I think that would just be strange to see Carl there, but you know.
Oh, Carl Corey? Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Corey still in his sellsword outfit?
Yeah.
All right.
They don't know it's Carl. You know.
Thank you very much
Have a
for
good
calling in,
night.
Reagan. We really appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a great night. My God. I love this stupid fucking thing we do. Zach, I'm spinning the wheel.
I wanted to say, off of that, that if you could get people to sit down and actually talk this out, there are some people who would probably be able to find peace here, but Damon and Aegon are going to blow it up every single time.
They are not among those people. They can give the Masons as an advance, lower the tax on the shepherds, and redistribute it. That's when you take it under advisement and reserve ruling. Yes, no one. I said this while we were watching. No one taught Aegon this sentence, and I wonder how much of this gets. And hang on, we'll come back to this. I wonder how much of this we can put at the feet of Viserys and the feet of the system generally. That his spare, right? The second, like the second in the line of succession, was never taught anything about ruling, at all, pretty much.
Yeah. And to be fair, Rhaenyra is not like an expert. She's not like somebody who has like a civics degree in terms of rulership. She's markedly better at it, but she is still, at the end of the day, like principally, most of her like skills in politics comes from stuff she picked up from Damon.
Yeah, but she's better at it because she saw it, right?
Yes.
If Aegon had literally ever gone to court, he would know the sentence. We'll have to think on that. We'll take it. I have to talk to my counsel about this.
Yeah.
Right. That's all you need. Right. You say I have to talk to my counsel about this. That doesn't mean no. But I got to talk to my counsel. I got to talk to the master of coin to see if that's something that we can afford.
One of my favorite scenes in The Wire is somebody says, "If you don't mind me asking," and then asks a very pointed question to the mayor and his advisor, and the advisor just says, "We mind you asking," and they walk away. That's the like sort of response you only get when you're trained in like the civics, that like conversation to have. And Otto can do that. Otto can say, "We mind you asking," but it's kind of crazy that Otto is his grandfather and Fizzy T is his father, and he's never sat down for a lesson in basic city, like national
basic
politics.
statecraft.
Basic
Like
statecraft, yes.
Mira says it was Otto's job. He tried with Rhaenyra and she fought him, and Otto was gone when Aegon was younger. So you're saying that we can blame, what's his name? Strong. We can blame Hand of the King, Harwin Strong's dad, for all we can lay the war at his feet.
The funny thing is, Jace actually seems like he learned very well.
Yeah, Jace seems like he's trying.
So if Jace was always thought to be the spare, and it was Rhaenyra and her kids should be the next to inherit, the spare was trained. It was just that Rhaenyra was, as the meme said, moist and unstable through most of the time. She should have been learning about how to be a better ruler. She's still like C+, B- ruler. Like, she is not.
Yeah, she's very solid.
It's the fact that Aegon is a like D trending F that is the major problem. But if you never thought he had a shot of inheriting, that
he's a low F trending mid F. Okay. He went up a couple of ticks this episode. He's still all the way down there.
That's fair.
Just to be clear, I still do not find it hard to pick between the teams. Aegon has become more complicated in the same way that a cow patty becomes more complicated when you put a couple of orange slices on it. I still don't want to eat it. Still, no thank you. I'll have the salad.
I think the complication will come in just because somebody is a better person, has a better vision, doesn't mean they can perform better actions once they grab power. I think that Rhaenyra might get in there with an intention to do good, with the desire to be a better ruler, and find that to do so, she had to team up with a bunch of people who don't have the best intentions to actively do damage to the realm's like monetary and food supply, to have to engage in an existential war for her own rule that takes priority over leading well, and she's going to be frustrated. And that's why people will look at the Greens a little bit more sympathetically, is because they didn't have those pressures and were therefore able to also do some things that weren't just pure warfare and like political backstabbing, and that you don't always get what you want in terms of leadership. And Rhaenyra kind of gets like a poison chalice sort of scenario when she's in there. And then that makes her more pissy, and she does some really bad things because of it. Well, also because doing bad things is beneficial to solidifying her power.
God damn it, this show's fucking good.
It is.
Holy shit, this show's good. Oh my god. Oh my god. It makes me so happy to be having discussions like these about Game of Thrones again.
Yes.
Do you remember the last conversations we had about Game of Thrones before House of the Dragon came out?
I remember it was really high at the time.
The last conversations, yes, we had it outside of like playing pool at a shitty bar in a shitty town.
Yes.
And yes, I am coming at you, Newfane, New York.
It is my favorite bar in Newfane, New York. I would give it a C.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes, I agree. It is the bar in Newfane, New York.
There's another one.
Oh my God, there's 2 bars in Newfane.
There might even be 3.
So when you're planning your interesting nerd club road trip, we were doing was talking about how fucking bad it was.
We were talking about plot holes. We were talking about character arcs that went nowhere. And we were talking about things from the books that were better. And we talked and played pool for 2.5 hours without missing a beat. There was no pause in the conversation.
Yes. And now we've talked for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, Zach, about how fucking good this show is. About how interesting and complicated and anxiety inducing and beautiful and well acted and well shot and well written and anger inducing and frustrating and upsetting and interesting this fucking show is. I'm so happy that we have Game of Thrones again. And I'm so happy, I'm very happy to have the YouTube nerds that we
Yes.
have to like Mira. I'm so glad that we get to talk about this with you. I'm so glad we get to talk about this with Ian. I'm so glad that we like Michael and Fantasy Haven and Glidus and all the people that we get to talk to about this stuff. Like it makes me overwhelmingly happy, and I'm so glad that y'all fucking insane nerds are here talking about this with us.
I love that we
My
can just
God.
on a random night without announcing it beforehand have a popping up chat too.
Yeah, that we are. Hang on, let's check again.
We announced this stream 10 minutes before it happened.
Yeah, very literally.
Yeah. We didn't even know we were doing it. We were gonna record today, and we said, "What if we just did a live stream instead?"
This is more fun.
This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay. Mira says, "You guys are the best. I literally wouldn't have a channel without you." I don't believe that. You are one of the most charismatic people that I know, and you have one of the most fun channels I've ever watched.
Yes.
It's wonderful, and it is unironically one of my favorite channels on YouTube.
It is. I agree, and I think you would have a channel without us. What you would not have is all your best crossover episodes.
That's extremely true. You would not have Jeopardy games that fucking fun.
We'll take credit for those.
Yeah, but you inspired me to actually record my first video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right. I am doing this. Zach, tell me about Vhagar. Talk to me about Vhagar. And if you would like to talk to us about Vhagar, the show is probably going to be over pretty soon, but you can call in and talk to us.
We got time for a guest.
But yeah, please. We got a couple more. We have a few more things to hit on this.
Vhagar.
Yeah.
So we see Vhagar. So somebody in our, I forget who it was, somebody in our Discord said they might be setting up for like a friendly fire incident later where they're loading up. They're loading up the ballista, and they are trying to identify the dragon in the air. And they're having trouble until Eric Cargyll says, "That's Vhagar."
Hold your fire, it's Vhagar.
Yeah.
This did not occur to me that might be foreshadowing an event like that, and 100%. You are absolutely correct. That's a great pitch. My God.
And then that could be why that could put them down a dragon. The dragon could be like wounded. Maybe like it is Dreamfire and like Helaena is on it at the time, and Dreamfire is wounded, and that's why they don't use Dreamfire at all during the war.
No!
Is because it's recovering. The dragon's recovering the whole time.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you say that Helaena might get shot out the fucking sky?
Yeah.
That's so mean!
Actually, that tracks
to say to me.
That tracks with Helena's...
Helena's, like, not being active in the conflict very much?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
and other stuff.
And other
stuff.
That would be one way to do it.
Shit, that's really good, dude.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then that's the thought I had with the Vhagar scene. And I thought that it was pretty cool just to see like people like all the random people reacting to dragons who aren't used to seeing them a ton are great. Like people like have a look of shock on their face every time they see a dragon. This is actually, I think it's Syraxes is it Syrax or Syraxes who is Rhaenyra's?
Syrax, yeah.
Syrax
has the same name as a person in Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the random people fishing out Lucerys and his dragon. When they see Syrax just freaking out because they can barely comprehend what they're seeing. I love that aspect of the dragons in the show, is that they're almost Lovecraftian to a person who's not used to royal people being around.
They're complete fucking nightmares.
You're watching a person ride around on an incomprehensible monster.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. I have another take, and I'll talk around it so I don't spoil anything, but there may be a case of mistaken dragon identity later.
Yeah.
That this scene may be that line may be lampshading too.
Yeah.
I think that's a great observation. I really like it.
It's not mine. I forget who did it in our Discord, but in our Discord casual House of the Dragon spoilers chat, somebody mentioned that, and I was like, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea."
Which, if you are not in, by the way, come and hang out in the Discord. It is popping the fuck off. By the way, should I put out that call for that thing we were talking about earlier?
What's the thing we were talking about earlier?
The people that we might need.
I'm still lost.
We're gonna need mods in the Discord. So
true.
if anyone has experience with that kind of thing and feels like reaching out to us and talking to us about it, I don't know. We're idiots. We don't know what we're doing. So I don't know. Maybe talk to us.
I have moderation experience. I just don't like using it.
Zach, talking about Alicent.
Alicent gets her groove back in this episode. She has.
Oh my god, we haven't talked about that at all.
Mira and I were talking about this earlier, where every amount of sex Alicent has had in her life up to this point was for political purposes and not of her own doing.
Yeah.
She clearly wasn't that into Vizzy T. I don't think she despised or was repulsed by him, but it was not,
at least not at first.
Yeah, at least not. And it was just not her choice to have been with him.
Yes.
And she would have picked somebody else.
Yes.
And now that she can, Criston Cole is the person she goes to. And I gotta say, not the same in tastes here. Alicent, you got poor tastes.
I respect your hustle. I don't respect your taste.
I would never fuck somebody I watched commit a hate crime.
God damn!
I think that's a pretty rational thing.
I'm not disputing that. I just wasn't expecting it.
If somebody ever goes through all of the things we've ever said to pull out controversial takes, that's got to be one of the least controversial.
Yeah, that's actually one of that has the best ratio of controversial to surprising, right? That has that. Right?
It's a shocking thing to say that everybody agrees.
We got a lot of uncontroversial, unsurprising, and a lot of controversial. We don't have a lot with that ratio, and I think that has one of the highest.
Yes.
Damn, that's really funny. Yeah, right. Fuck Criston Cole, literally. We talked about. I want to talk about the framing of those scenes. I like those are such. Specifically, the first scene that we get of Alicent and Criston is extraordinary. It's very well shot. It's very well framed, and it has Alicent in this fucking power position.
Yeah.
With Criston literally on his knees. And Alicent with one leg. It's so well shot and really well acted. And also raises my opinion of both of them considerably.
Yes.
Really good. We talked briefly about the decision to have Alicent getting laid when Helaena runs in. I did not mind it at all.
Well, Alicent, for the first time in her life, is allowed to have sex with somebody she's attracted to for the sake of sex.
Oh boy.
Of course, she's gonna be really into it at that point.
All right, we're hello, you are on the air. We are currently talking about the relationship between Criston and Alicent. Who are we talking to?
This is Michael, and that's exactly what I want to talk about.
Michael, hello!
Every time you start speaking, since your voice is instantly recognizable, I'm like, oh my god, it's Michael!
And every time we kiss, I swear I can fly.
Every time you pop into a chat in Discord and I don't know who it is, and you speak up, I'm like, yeah, Michael's here.
Yeah! Michael, please give us your take on Alicent getting laid a bunch this episode.
I love it. But the first thing I wanted to say quickly is, do you guys agree with me that Criston Cole's Wang is cursed?
Yes.
Rhaenyra tried it, didn't go well for her. Things went very badly from there. Alicent, same thing.
No.
Things probably not going to go so great.
No, I think being friends with Criston Cole is cursed.
Yeah, that too.
It's
that
hanging out with Criston Cole.
True.
It's not his dick, it's himself.
Anybody who said Morph is penetrated by Criston Cole has had it end very badly for them, whether it's Rhaenyra, Alicent, or Lyman Beesbury.
See, that has a different ratio. All right, Michael from the YouTube channel Michael Talks About Stuff. Go ahead and go check it out, please. Michael, tell us your thoughts, please.
Okay, so I think it's a phenomenal writing decision to have Alicent and Criston Cole be hooking up because like it's just such like the way I read a lot of season one is like, and I mean I think this is why the line where Rhaenyra yells at Alicent is so powerful. It's because Alicent wants to just have the freedom to do all of the things Rhaenyra does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Alicent, for every interaction in her whole life, has probably been like coached by Otto to be like, you have to do the proper thing. You have to like try and survive this situation that you're in. You are a political pawn, like act like one. And now Rhaenyra's out there having none of that, like never had that thought in her life. She can ride a dragon. She can do whatever she wants. So she can go bone Criston Cole and think that it's going to have no consequences. And then ever since they usurped her throne, like that whole thing flipped. And Rhaenyra is the one who has to measure every single action she takes now because she's in a position of weakness. Every single thing she has to do has to be calculating. Whereas Alicent, for the first time in her life, can finally like just do whatever she wants. And whatever she wants in this case happens to be fucking Criston Cole.
Yeah.
And so then it just instantly backfires on her because I think now, post Blood and Cheese, she's also not going to have that ability anymore. I think it's going to be a lot of anxiety for both of them now.
And I think that just the general situation in the Red Keep is going to be a fucking disaster, right? Every relationship between every character is going to become combustible from here on.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
And like I wonder how much paranoia they're gonna have, like the Tyrion in the walls thing that Cersei deals with now.
oh yeah.
Like it'll be cool to see how much
Yeah.
that like plays out.
Since zero people are gonna get caught in this murder, probably, like the idea that could happen again is like gonna be front and center to people, right? They got in once, they can get in again. And I agree wholeheartedly with she resents that Rhaenyra was able to basically be sexually adventurous, that she was able to spurn suitors, that she was able to, because this is part of his ET being like in some points a cool dad. He was very conflicted trying being a good family man and a good leader. He was able to be like,
I accidentally called somebody back. Sorry about that. My bad.
The ability for her to finally go and do things that she's viewed Rhaenyra as irresponsibly doing and shirking her duties as a lady is empowering to her, even, and she knows she's not making the best decisions. Mira pointed out, asked me to mention the part where Alicent is in the man's position because she's on top when they walk in. And that would have been considered the man's positions back then. Now everybody just recognizes that it's a good one.
Yeah. And facts. And like she is in like gosh, it's like a traditional like man's porn position. Yeah. Like during oral, person standing and person kneeling is like
the traditional.
Yes.
Oh no, we lost Mike.
Oh, Michael's gone. Sorry, Michael. We will see if we hang on. I'll turn back Do Not Disturb back off, and we'll see if we get Michael back. But in the meantime, I think we can continue chatting about it. Yeah, like that is like one of the, both of those are the traditional male positions.
Yes. I think we got him.
Hello, Michael. Did we say things that were too scandalous for you?
No, when you pushed that button, all of a sudden all I could hear was hold music, so I couldn't hear you guys.
Actually put Michael on hold.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
So I was like, oh, am I coming back? I better turn back on my YouTube volume so I can hear what they're saying. And then yeah.
Oh,
so that's what happened.
But Zach, do you want to finish up your take? And then Michael, I would love to hear your response.
We get sort of her internal, like, it's sort of like, you know, internal misogyny towards other women, but it's also her resentment that she has to play by the rules, that she is willing to do that, whether that's out of expectations or her relationship with her father or with society, or whether that is that she feels like she does not have a choice. Now she feels like she has choices, and she's immediately making them, and she's making them like frantically and passionately, and she's gone over to the other extreme where she is not thinking about it because she no longer needs to. It's sort of like the, person behaving irresponsibly with money when they get a ton of it sort of thing. She is now has a ton of agency, is not the queen, the queen married to the king, but is the mom of the king with no political role to play in her sexuality anymore. She now has a fuck ton of agency, and it's sort of like winning the lottery and immediately buying a new car.
Yeah, like, this is not necessarily irresponsible, but it is very noticeable.
Yeah.
And I wonder who's the IRS in this situation, noticing, hey, you just bought a new car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Great takes. Michael, please.
I was also just gonna say, so I don't know if anyone's made the joke yet, but obviously we now know why they still call him the Kingmaker, even though they took out some of his king-making stuff. It's because he's boning all the queens.
Let's go! Holy shit!
I can't argue with that.
Oh my god. You're saying that Redacted is his kid?
I'm saying that he's out there trying to make kings constantly.
You're saying that Redacted, who eventually gets the position Redacted, is Criston Cole's kid. All right, Michael.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add before we go back to the spinner?
No, I think I'm good. That was mainly my takes.
Hey, thank you very much for calling. We really appreciate it. Go check out Michael Talks About Stuff.
Yep.
Phenomenal channel.
Much better
have a
videos
good night,
than
guys.
All of his theories might be true.
Yeah, like when we're going through when we're doing the audit.
We're gonna do an audit after Winds comes out of what theories are like still possible, which ones are confirmed, which ones are not possible. I expect that almost all of yours will either be like soft confirmed or still possible.
Yeah,
and we're gonna strike out like it's gonna look like a halfway finished game of Guess Who.
Yeah,
for our theories,
we're gonna be batting 4%. And as Michael has been telling us the last couple of weeks, the Winds of Winter coming out. Did you say 6 weeks? Is that what you said?
I thought I was being optimistic when I was originally going to say 2025, and then I had the video kind of in the works, and then all of a sudden Dragon Demands and Quinn the GM both coming out even more optimistic than me. So I'm like, oh dang, maybe late 2024.
More optimistic. The Winds of Winter is already out and nobody's noticed.
Yeah, nobody knows. Go ask Captain Time. All right, thank you very much, Michael.
All right.
Have a great night.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Man, this is a fucking good format. There's just actually plausible deniability to say the kid is Viserys as if she got pregnant. That's very true. That's extremely true. But I will still call him the Kingmaker. Zach, I am spinning this spinner. We're almost done.
Almost. And we have a caller.
We have another caller. Ellen of Grant.
Call again, whoever just called.
Yeah, whoever that was, you're welcome to call again. I swear I was just about to pick up. Zach, talk to me about
Ellen of Grant.
Ellen of Hall.
Ellen.
I thought it was funny. Ellen of Grant.
It's Ellen Grant from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
We could talk about Jurassic Park.
This is We've
never done that before for hours.
We've never done that for 6 hours before.
No.
The immediate thing that I thought when Corliss was talking to Alan, the first and only thing I thought, I swear to God, and I think I ruined the experience for my friend Vic. I watched the show with
our good friend. Vic.
Yes. Great human karaoke friend.
Very good karaoke.
Yeah.
Friend. Fun and bad movie nights also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watch the first episode with her. And Corliss looks at this individual and says, "I owe you a debt, Alan." And that's the only thing I heard. It's the only thing I heard. He burst out laughing. I was laughing for 45 seconds. It is so good.
for those who haven't seen Jurassic Park 3, the best scene happens very early on.
The good scene happens very early on. I owe a debt to you, Alan. He even does like a pause. And it's like I can hear like swelling music and the sound of the plane, and the plane was empty. It's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur next to Alan of Hall. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's really good. This is not a problem with House the Dragon. This is a problem with me.
This is a problem with how your brain works, and unfortunately how my brain also works.
Alan.
There's a street we would drive past often called Allen Street, and every time one of us would drive past it, we'd both go, Alan.
I gotta tell you, it's been hard watching football the last couple of years.
Go Bills.
Dropping back for a deep pass, it's Alan.
Oh, my lord.
It goes through my head every time he gets the ball.
I'm not that cursed.
Oh my god, okay. Alright, I'm spinning the thing again. Oh wait, we haven't really talked about Alan of Hull. It's just cool that he's here. We can't really talk about
I'm
him.
glad they're setting up the dragon seeds early.
Yeah,
And
me
they're
too.
not just going to show up and be like, hi, I'm Hugh, exposition dump. Hi, I'm Alan, exposition dump.
Jordan says he gets the ball every snap, and I'm not gonna actually Jordan. I'm not gonna actually Jordan about that. This is a good take. I'm not gonna actually you about it. I'm just glad that someone is here talking about football with us. Don't do it. We're not doing it.
That doesn't change what Tom said.
Yes, yeah.
Tom is just passively thinking of that scene from Jurassic Park 3 all the time.
100% of the time, right? It's like that's
Or
queued up.
it's like one of your brain screensavers. It's like I remember like this one trip I went on, and this one big party I was at, and this one particularly romantic evening I was at, and you it's just Alan on loop.
Right. This actually, what a fun take that is, a brain screensaver, because that is exactly what it is. That's 100%. Right. There's quotes from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. There's Alan from Jurassic Park 3. There's Amity O'Cramity. There's Old Greg, and they just play, right?
There's a couple jokes from Futurama that are like brain screensavers to me also. Where I'm just thinking of particular like episodes and jokes from them.
Yeah.
I think, oh god, what's that one Zach Brannigan quote where he's like
Look, lines are open, by the way, if you want to talk about Jurassic Park 3.
The dominoes will fall like a house of cards, or something like that, into a perfect something checkmate. He mixes up all his game metaphors all at once. I do variations of that in my brain all the time, where I try and mix metaphors in that sort of style.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will get the quote right in chat, but
make like a tree, get out of here. I went and saw what's it called? Not Nightmare Before Christmas, not Lord of the Rings. What did I see? In theaters. The old movie. Help me. Back to the Future. I went and saw Back to the Future in theaters recently. And it was in like a little theater with like, I don't know, like 20 tables in it.
Yeah.
Very cool. And we got to that scene, and every human being in that theater all at the same time said, "So you make like a tree and get out of here." With and like 35 people all did this all at the same time. It's amazing. Amity. Oh, cramity. All right, Zach, let's spin the wheel again. Because we're losing the thread fast.
we are.
Not that I'm complaining.
Me either.
Oh, man. Lyman Beesbury.
He's still dead.
He's still dead. Spin it again. Sheep Stealer.
We don't see Sheep Stealer.
Correct. Spin it again. Great character. Love Sheep Stealer. Love Sheep Stealer. No spoilers, but we love Sheep Stealer. Corlys Valerian. That's
Another idea scene. We can tell he knows Alan's his son in that scene. Like he can tell.
Whoa. We said no spoilers.
Sorry.
Delete that. Just delete that.
You can tell Corlys is, there's more than just he's a good sailor, that he saved his life. That there's a relationship.
Yeah,
he has
that, I don't know if that's that. That I think that is subtext in that scene, but I'm sure that you can get a sense of that.
Yeah,
and not for nothing, they changed a lot of shit.
And could change that to being a nephew or something. We do get a good bit more of his brother than I remember getting in the books. Not that his brother is non-existent, but like we get that scene with his brother being beheaded by Damon, right?
Yeah. Yes. What is his name? Why do I not know his name? Vaemond. Vaemond gets his face chopped in half.
Yeah. He could be a bastard of Aemond if they want to change things, but it could be he could just be Corlys's bastard. And
Reagan says the claps are so loud. I'm sorry. I get excited. Yeah, like the relationship between Alan and Corlys is something that we don't even understand in the books. And I think that that is going to be explored in the show. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Also, I'm glad to see Corlys up and walking around.
Yeah.
I was worried that I was really actually worried they would go in a different direction with him.
He would be spending most of the war in a chair and like barely like able to do anything other than speak up at council meetings.
Yeah.
And, like he would still be cognizant mentally, but physically he would just be completely unable to contribute to the war effort.
Like it's not the Driftwood Throne. It's not the Seastone Chair. Is it the Driftwood Throne?
I think so.
Yeah, whatever, like the seat of House Valerian. I was worried that he's going to be in that chair the whole season. And I'm glad to see him up and going. All right, Bonk. Just a few more, everybody. If you want to get a call in, you got to get it in now.
It was the most tasteful toddler decapitation I've ever seen in a show.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly the only.
Mm-hmm. He's
What's the story from the Bible where the two women are arguing over the baby?
The King Solomon bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't let her keep the top part.
Better keep the bottom part. We're moving on. We're moving on. Oh my god. Bonk, there it is. I'm covering up your face. Caraxes!
You see, we see Caraxes.
We never see him. We just see Melees flying in, but we do hear him.
That's true.
We hear him as Damon, and I love this. I actually like the Dragon Rider connection was really cool this episode. We saw Rhaenyra and Syrax interacting, and as Damon was getting agitated with Rhaenys, we heard Caraxes go, right? We heard him like do his like wonderful like whooping ululations.
Yes.
Somewhere off in the fucking caves. Thoughts on Caraxes? I just love Caraxes.
I like Caraxes. Probably my favorite dragon personality-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which half did you take?
I'm making a joke about one of my favorite John Mulaney bits where he's talking about the Solomon King dispute where the one woman they're both arguing over whose baby it is, and he says, "I'll cut the baby in half, and you can have a one half each." And one of them says, "No, don't do that." And the other says, "Yeah, that's fine. In fact, I'll be nice. She can even have the top part." And that leads King Solomon to be like, "Well, the one who doesn't want the baby cut in half must be the mother," which is out of the two of them more likely. But then John Mulaney comes in and says, anybody who sees a baby getting sawed in half and is like, "You shouldn't do that," it's like, you must be the parent.
We have Dangerous Wolf, longtime chatter. Great to see you. Thank you very much for hanging out. Trademarking the phrase Christolingus, which I assume is going to be the name of that particular pose where you're standing with one foot up like you're a pirate, or you're like a pirate with like one foot up on a barrel. You're getting gone down on while you're in the Captain Morgan pose.
I was thinking, yeah, Captain Morgan. Yeah. Hello, Chables.
Chables, hello.
Yes. Then King Solomon played "What's New Pussycat" 18 times.
I love this
not
fucking
18
chat,
times
man.
straight. One of them was it's not unusual.
It's not unusual.
One of my very good friends, actually Sarah, who sang on my album, she has done "What's New Pussycat" at karaoke before, and I was tempted to put in right after "It's Not Unusual," so people would be terrified when the next person goes up that it was going to go back.
All right, Zach, just a couple left. We got Damon Targaryen.
This is his angry episode at the beginning, but we see him work through a lot of emotions in this one. We see these bad working through emotions, and that's a consistent thing with this character. But he gets mad at the first with the blockade. They're not being aggressive. The two of us could go fight right now and take out Vhagar. He gets upset later when his ex-lover shows up. He is mad on Rhaenyra's behalf later when she comes back and says, "I want Aemond Targaryen." And his inability to find a smart and healthy outlet to that lead him to order a hit with two people who've never done one before, and the results are predictable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you asked me to, well, I don't know. If you asked me to guess how it was going to go, my first guess would be they get caught.
And the next worst thing is they hit the wrong target, which is what they do.
Yeah, but they hit the wrong target really intentionally.
Well, he asks too, like, what if we don't? And when he says a son for a son, I don't think he's necessarily thinking of Jaehaerys. I think what he's thinking is basically, okay, if you can't get Aemond, try and get Aegon, right? Like, I don't know who you're going to find, but if it's a son for a son and you're only thinking of Alicent's kids, because that's where, you're so mad at Aemond, hitting his brother, who's the current king, is a huge political boon, and from a dragon standpoint also, those are the two biggest dragons.
Yes.
So, taking out one of the riders is good. Taking out a toddler that does not have a dragon is no good to anybody from a political standpoint, so he should have chosen his words more carefully, but he probably never thought they would even consider that, and it's a blind spot on him because he's blinded by rage. He knows what he wants up here, and he goes to two people being like, hey, want to do a whack? Want to kill some people for me? And they don't know what his political intentions are out of this. He's just blinded by his anger, and it leads him to saying something that can easily be misinterpreted.
I got a question. We know where Aegon was. We know where Helaena, Criston, and Alicent were. Where was Aemond?
That's because they come through his room.
Yeah. Where's Aemond? Honestly, probably just hanging out with Vhagar. Legitimately, he was probably just like, fuck this, I'm going on patrol.
I have a terrible idea.
What?
In the next episode, we're going to see Criston Cole get up from the bed, and Aemond was underneath him.
Yes. Yeah. Every episode is going to start with Criston Cole going down on somebody different. Oh, get some, Criston. Get some, you piece of shit. All right. We have Dreamfire. We talked about Dreamfire quite extensively, actually. Oh, we are getting a call in. Let me hop on over here. Bonk. Hello, you are on the air. Who are we talking to?
Hello, this is Mama Face. I have not paid attention to the Discord over the past few weeks, or any of the over the past few days, or any of the live streams that people did post the episodes or whatnot. But Cregan Stark he picked up was that 1 in 10 go up to the wall. So why is he still in charge? Yeah, that's weird. He went to the wall.
And Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, because it might be the case that I read this wrong. That read to me like a flashback to an earlier time in Stark history, just showing that practice. But now that I think on it, that as a storytelling technique might be unprecedented in the entire series.
Yeah. I don't know either. So is the idea
and if he
that-
wasn't part of the, and but if he wasn't part of the Night's Watch, then why would he just happen to be there when people want to talk? Like it would be too much of a coincidence they would be there, and they'll just be hanging out there when shit goes down, kind of thing, because they wanted to show the wall.
I disagree with that a little bit, because it could be so the Starks have a very tight connection with the Night's Watch, and we know this from the books and the show. And Ned is known by many people at the Wall and respected there. Benjen is there also. I think that most likely is that Cregan was escorting some people from Winterfell who were going because it was about to be winter, and that was pressing. I mean, he talks about how pressing winter is. He could be a little more aligned. He was close to people at the Night's Watch, and then he determines that all the garrison from Winterfell, the people who are going there, I'm going to go there to make sure that they are received well, that they are given good accommodations. And then, since Jace is here to begin with, I'm going to remind him of my pressing duty up here as far as winter is concerned. Because he's going to say, why can't you come down right now? And I got to say, if I want him to understand the calamity of what I'm facing here, I should take him to the Wall.
And I want to bounce off that. From like a pure like political gamesmanship perspective,
Amir said the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's a big power move to, even unrelated to all that. Jace shows up and Cregan goes, "Cool, we're gonna talk about this on the way to the Wall."
Yeah.
And you go to the Wall and like you sit him in front of this wonder of the world. So he is off balance, like he is humbled during the negotiation.
Yeah, that way he can't complain and say you've got, plenty of people here in Winterfell, the city looks safe. You can go up to the Wall and say they need as many men as they can get, and this is an important thing. And because he's never been to the Wall before, and it's like nothing he's ever seen before, like Winterfell just looks like another city but colder. This puts him in a great negotiating advantage. That's true.
And also, I don't know.
And just
if I was Jace, I'd want to see it.
With Blood and Cheese, like the rat catcher, he knew one secret passageway through the sewers, and then nothing else. Like they just walked through the throne room.
They just freaking walk across the throne room, dude. It was amazing.
Yeah, it is, but it was, they just walked through the throne room. Like, he at least knew rats hid in the secret in Maegor's passageways. Like, sure, he might have been overselling what he could do, but it implies that, he knew enough of, like, why would they even need to be the rat catcher sneaking in through the sewers? He's the rat catcher. They need rats caught, kind of thing. Like, rat catcher is a legitimate job. Why are you sneaking in? You know about the Maegor's secret passageways, sure, but you're not actively catching any, like, you know about them, but they didn't take any except for one in the sewers to get in, which they could have done anyway, because he's the rat catcher. You're one of them.
I think the going through the sewers means that if they walk through a public entrance, they could say who is the last person to walk into the castle, because they know they're going to murder somebody, so getting spotted and recognized is a huge deal.
And also going through the main entrance, you have to walk past the guards, some of whom might know blood.
Yeah, exactly. And then if they've seen you before because you worked there, you want to be observed by as few people as possible. And if you're walking past the guards, part of their job, and this is true if you're like a bouncer too, is to remember who is inside the building still, to keep like a count in your head of when somebody not only enters but when they leave and at what times. Because if something goes down and you have to like run in and like identify somebody, you need to be able to like give a good witness report. That's something the guards are doing as well. So entering through a way that cloaks their arrival time means it's way more likely somebody else gets pinned for the murder, or at least it's ambiguous. And then they walk through the throne room, but they walk very nonchalantly. It may have been the most direct way. It may have been that they didn't know another good way to not be seen by guards specifically. 'Cause, walking by a bunch of drunk partying people and walking by somebody whose job is security are two very different things. So if he's just trying to duck guards, that may have been his best play.
Yeah, sometimes it's safer to walk past the person. Like if you're trying to bluff your way through, it's safer to walk past the person who owns the house than the person who's working security at the party.
Yeah, exactly.
All the same, Llama Face, I think that this is these are really interesting. Like the logistics of this do seem a little fishy to me.
Oh, I agree.
And I would love to dive into them a little more.
Well, I think blood was probably over, or cheese, whichever one is the rat catcher.
I assume it's cheese.
Yeah,
rat
catcher.
Yeah.
It was probably overselling his qualifications also. Like, we don't know how long he's been the rat catcher. We don't know, like, if he's the only rat catcher. It could be that he only has the ground floor, because he says he's never been up to where the royals are. But presumably, like, they catch mice up there. They have servants up there. It's not like it's forbidden for servants to be in the royal quarters. So...
No, I think I remember, him saying that's where other rat catchers go. He's not allowed there, but the others are. And like there are at least 2 rat catchers in the entirety of the Red Keep. Him and the person who can go onto the upper floors, at least.
And that one's Larys.
Well, no, he doesn't catch them. He just, is them.
Yes.
He is the rat.
He's not the rat catcher. He is the rats, which is what Helaena is scared of.
Yes.
All right, Llama Face, if you don't mind, we're going to continue trying to bulldoze through these last few so that we can go to bed.
No problem.
Thank you. Oh, okay, bye.
We're going to say thanks.
Thank you very much for calling. We really appreciate
we
it.
do.
Oh, my good. This is a fantastic show. Oh, my God. Wait, where's the thing? Okay, I'm going over here. Dreamfire we already talked about. I'm excited to see what they do with Dreamfire, and we might save this for a maybe like a mid-season predictions video or something like that. But I want to hold off on talking about that, at least on this video. We might do like we talked about doing a blood and cheese reaction video.
This is better.
If we do end up doing something like that in the next week or two, I think we should talk about we should do it like spoiler no spoilers barred discussion at some point, because I would love to to debate what's going to happen in the future. Bong, 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 bong. Jace. Oh, Jace.
I wish he was more gay.
I need him to be nothing other than what he is this episode. This episode, he was charismatic.
And he was suffering,
And he was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Also, he and Cregan looked like if you split Timothy Chalamet into 2 people.
I'm never gonna be able to understand.
And it made me really happy. Can we talk about how Cregan absolutely looks like he's related to Sean Bean?
Yeah.
He looked 100%.
I'm sure a lot of that's makeup and costuming, but they did a phenomenal job on that.
It's great. The big thing with Jace did this was him trying to hold it the fuck together in front of his mom and just not succeeding.
Being able to. He never thought he would outlive his younger brother, and that's like a tragic thing to consider happening. To lose a sibling, to lose a younger sibling, that's horrifying. I can't imagine, and don't want to imagine living in that world. And he has to live with that in the most trying time of his life, from a person who is led to rule and is still in training, and now he's dealing with the most traumatic personal things he's ever had to deal with.
I agree. Fantastic stuff. It's great. Some of the best acting I've ever seen. All right, shall we continue?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We have only fun ones left. Zach, how about Criston Cole?
Criston Cole.
I set that joke up 4 hours ago.
That's true. Criston Cole should not have a job, and if they should have a conversation, I presume next episode they will, or within the next few episodes, someone will give a detailed reason you suck speech to Criston Cole of you failed to protect the fucking heir to the throne. You have repeatedly been negligent in your duties. You are constantly getting angry and giving your opinions in council meetings where your input is not required. Or at the very least, it appeared to be like conspiring politically with Aemond and others. You are, depending on how clearly they got caught, breaking your vows of celibacy that you took to be a member of the Kingsguard.
Mm-hmm. And the person who'll be passing judgment on you, you're fucking his mom.
Or his daughter. Actually, there'll be two people passing judgment on
you. Correct.
Yeah.
There is a person there are two people who are judging you, and you are fucking the person in between them in the family tree.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a difficult position to land yourself in.
And imagine how difficult the positions he was doing were. We know he's flexible.
He knew that going in too. It's not like he found out later.
No, he knew that. He knew that coming out. Yeah. Keep him going.
It's not like I was fucking the sheriff's daughter, who is also the mayor's mom, and I didn't know that. I just met somebody hot at a bar. No, I met the person for being the sheriff's daughter.
Yeah, I
watched her give birth to the mayor. And said, "Yeah, we should fuck."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just for the sake of completeness, just so that we're all on the same page, there is the same power dynamic here that there was with Rhaenyra and Criston.
This guy has a thing for workplace sexual harassment.
Okay, we're moving on. We're ending the stream. If you want to get a call in, you better do it now. Zach Laenor Velaryon.
Still alive.
He sure is. I'm so excited for Laenor. We're gonna do when are we predicting? Season 3, episode 3 is my prediction.
I think this season.
You think this season? You don't think they're gonna let him sit out for a whole season?
I think it'll be a surprise at the very last episode or one of the last 2 episodes where he comes back. They hire try and hire mercenaries. Mm-hmm. A man named Black Trumbo shows up and he says, "I have a dog in this fight, actually."
And then he puts sunglasses on. You're right. I bet he shows up, but he keeps the mask on.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle of next season we get the reveal.
That could work. Yes.
All right. I like it. I'm excited. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I have a video for you to watch and a book for you to read. Moving along. Got 2 more. Miss Sunday.
Good old Miss Sunday.
I felt that her character, not that it was weak, but I felt that her characterization, she didn't have much to do. She was a character she was a very passive character.
She didn't have a lot of agency this episode. Yeah.
Considering what a fucking badass she was last episode.
Yeah.
In episode 9, I should say. She just didn't. She wasn't much.
Well, and I think most of this was to get her to where she needs to be for future events, and also to set up that we, the audience, are going to fall out of love with Damon, and that Rhaenyra will probably fall out of love with Damon because he is a red right hand sort of personality where he is amazing and incredible at first, and then the more you start to peel back the layers, the more you realize it's his mask that he puts on is this deep-seated resentment and anger and all these other problems that he uses this level of glamour and prestige to cover up and attract people in because he can't process all of these shitty emotions behind him. And she is now fully aware, you don't live up to the hype. The hype is there to lull people into a sense of security sort of thing.
I really like her actor. And I think, you know what? I'm going to be the one dissenter in the fandom. Not only did I like her accent this episode, I liked her accent last season.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird and unique, and I liked it. And as a person who, oh no, Kirsty says accent ruins it for me. I loved it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I like it.
People are talking about the different types of subs.
Hoagie.
Hoagie's just a different term for sub. That's what people say in Philadelphia.
Grinder.
That's just what they say in New Jersey. Depending on the part of New Jersey, it's a South Jersey thing, I think.
Hero.
It's like a Newark and New York City-ish thing, I think. It's all a thing.
Sammy.
I don't know where they say Sammys.
I'm pretty sure that's what they call them in England.
They're
long
Sammys.
ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of this is relevant or funny. Her accent is significantly better this season. That is true. Sausage sub is exactly what Criston is. And Zach, I'm gonna take this one. All right, I'm gonna take this one. The seahorse. Really good, dude. Holy shit! That's one of the best scenes in the entire show.
Yeah. It says so much without having to say a word directly.
A Chable says po' boy.
Yeah. That's like a I think that's just a term they use for subs in New Orleans.
Pyramidian says Eero. Isn't Eero a sub? It's a sandwich for sure.
Sandwich.
I don't know what
We're gonna do 2 hours of sandwich debate on top.
No, that's next stream.
We'll be back for episode 2 probably.
Can I offer you a knuckle sandwich? Says Ross. It's an old joke, sir, but it checks out. I like it. I'm a fan. All right, you guys. I think we're gonna try to do this again next week.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
If you want us to stay on for longer, you have to call right now.
Yes, if you want, you need to call and filibuster this moment.
That
Kevin
is an invitation.
Please do this again. Jordan says thank you. It's where taco and sandwich meet. I'm sorry, all tacos are sandwiches.
Well, there's also the argument that all sandwiches are tacos.
I respect this one more, but it's more confusing.
It is more confusing.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
I've heard people give compelling arguments, and I felt like we should give that the possibility.
Kirsty says I can't call from Australia. I'm pretty sure you can get a Google Voice number and call in, but I cannot speak to it.
We are using Google Voice.
Get a Google Voice number and then get your ass a VPN. Russ says I wanted to phone in, order pizza. Tacos, not a sandwich. Very spicy takes. You guys are wonderful. You are beautiful human beings.
Is a blast.
I had a great time. And Zach, do you have anything to add?
No. Looking forward to. We got 8 episodes this season, so 7 more of these streams. Hopefully, we can swing it. This has been a blast, and it's a lot more fun to do than the recap videos we were doing last time around. So I think as long as the show is airing, we'll try to keep this up. If possible.
And I think we'll do the same format because this fucking absolutely rocked.
Yes.
I was so scared that literally nobody was gonna go in. Knuckle taco. Oh, I was gonna make the knuckle taco is a dirt. I was gonna make that joke.
What would be like can I get a knuckle bread bowl?
Knuckle, I don't even know her.
Bye everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you guys. I will do what we often do, and I will leave the stream up in case people want to be chatting in the chat for a little while, but this is our show. Thank you guys so much. You have all been fantastic, and I am turning the Google Voice to Do Not Disturb so that I don't get my phone blown the fuck up.
I mean, people can just find the number. It is linked to your phone. You could just get a call during work hours and not realize it's somebody messing with you and pick it up because you don't realize you're getting a Google Voice call and not a regular call.
Yeah, because you called the Google Voice number and it showed up on my phone as you.
Yep.
Yeah, it just showed it's just a regular. It doesn't show. It didn't tell me that it was coming through the Google Voice number.
So you can just harass Tom if you feel like it.
Yeah. You know what else you can do? Is text that number.
Yeah,
you can text that you can text that number I think whenever, and they'll just be there.
Yep.
You guys have been fantastic, and we'll leave the stream up for a couple more minutes, but that's our show. Zach, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.